do that.
Absolutely, and you know, this diktat clearly mentions that if a woman will not have a male escort, they will not be allowed entry. The kind of defense also coming in from the Jama Masjid is quite bizarre. They are saying that the reason why they've put out this diktat is primarily because the women were seen making TikTok videos inside the Jama Masjid.
So stop the TikTok videos. I can understand that it's a place of worship. It can cause offense. It's a place of some level of sobriety, and that can cause offense. That I understand entirely, be it a man or a woman or anybody in a place of worship taking those kind of liberties. It can be understood why the religious bodies may not want that. But how can you ban a whole community, a whole gender of worshippers, of believers, based on the fact of being a woman? It doesn't make any sense. We have to call it out for what it is, and it's discrimination.
Thank you for speaking to us. So clearly this diktat that reeks of patriarchy, sexism, nothing else. In fact, VHP, they're saying that they should learn from Iran's protest. So people also, in fact, the women also coming to the streets and voicing their dissent. We have more reactions coming in. Our reporters there at the Jama Masjid getting us those reactions from the women and the men, of course. Let's listen into some of them.
आप लोग अकेले आए हैं?
हाँ जी।
अकेले हैं आप?
हाँ।
अकेले आई हैं?
हाँ जी।
तो वही तो कह रहे हैं।
हाँ, तो फिर नोटिस
देखिए, हमारे यहाँ जो गलत इस टाइप के लोग आ रहे हैं उनके लिए नोटिस है ये अकेले आई, कोई मना नहीं किया।
तो मतलब नोटिस को आप फिर चेंज करेंगे क्या?
नहीं, जैसे है वैसे ही रहेगा। और जो गलत लोग हैं, आज भी एंट्री हमारे यहाँ मना है उसके लिए, कल भी रहेगा, फ्यूचर में भी रहेगा।
और पुरुषों के लिए तो कोई नोटिस नहीं, वो तो साथ में कोई भी आता है।
लड़के भी है, आप किसी गेट पे आप खड़े होने पहले देख ले, हमारा दरबार हर जगह पूरी तरह एकदम एकाग्र अटेंशन है। अगर वो रोकता है तो दोनों को रोक रहा है, जोड़े को रोक रहा है।
पर आपको लगता है कि नोटिस से गलत संदेश जा रहा है? आप सोचिए, हमारे देश में जहाँ लड़कियां चांद तक पहुंच रही हैं, उनके लिए ऐसा नोटिस। और फिर अब आज हर कोई यही सवाल पूछ रहा है कि जामा मस्जिद तो आकर्षण, वैसे भी ऐतिहासिक इमारत है, सैलानी यहाँ पर पहुँचते हैं, और अगर ऐसे नोटिस लगा दिया जाएगा तो लड़कियाँ बैन हो जाएंगी। तो फिर एक सवाल उठेगा ना कि क्या लड़कियों के साथ ये दोयम दर्जे का बर्ताव क्यों हो रहा है?
आप मस्जिद के अंदर कैसे पहुँच गई हैं? आप पहुँच गई मस्जिद के अंदर? आप भी तो लेडीज औरत हैं।
मैं तो अकेले नहीं आई।
नहीं, आप हैं तो लेडीज।
तो फिर नोटिस का मतलब?
नोटिस का मतलब यही है कि जो गलत लड़कियां हैं या लड़कियां हमारे यहाँ नहीं।
आप कैसे देखेंगे कि गलत है?
आदमी जितना पॉसिबल है वो करेगा। ये धार्मिक जगह है। अगर आप एहतराम नहीं करेंगे तो हम तो उसको रोकेंगे।
ये रील वील जो आप कह रहे हैं या जो भी आप प्रावधान बता रहे हैं, जो भी नियम लगा रहे हैं, वो तो आप बोर्ड वैसे भी लिख सकते थे, लेकिन वहाँ पे लड़कों का कोई।
आप सारे गेटों पर जाइए, तीनों गेट पे हमारा लगा हुआ है।
अकेली लड़की आ सकती है?
हाँ, आ रही फैमिली आ रही, आपके सामने ही
सामने आ रही है ना। मैं वही तो पूछी हूँ, अकेली लड़की
सामने कह दिया, उसी चीज़ को आप बार बार क्यों रिपीट कर रही हैं? कह दिया ना लेडीज ने, हम अकेले आए हैं।
सही है ना?
बिल्कुल सही है।
बिल्कुल। तो देखिए, ये असिस्टेंट पीआरओ अंसार हमारे साथ थे, जिनका साफ तौर पर ये कहना है कि जो नोटिस है वो इसलिए लगाया गया है कि गलत लड़कियां ना इसमें एंट्री करें। हालांकि हमने उनसे पूछा कि गलत लड़की कैसे हो सकती है, कपल के लिए वो कह रहे हैं, लेकिन सवाल वही खड़ा हो रहा है कि लड़कों के लिए कोई नोटिस नहीं। और इसीलिए लगातार कई लोग ये सवाल पूछ रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया पर कि लड़कों का तो कहीं कोई जिक्र नहीं है। अनामिका।
So there you heard reactions coming in across the board. VHP saying that there should be a strong action taken. Now remember, the Jama Masjid has come out with this statement saying that the reason why they put out this diktat is primarily because women who were seen entering the Jama Masjid, they were seen making TikTok videos. But the question is that if women was being seen taking TikTok videos, why not those men? So there should be equal rules for all. And why this sort of a diktat which says that women need to have a chaperone with them, they need to have a male escort when they enter the Jama Masjid. We have a reaction coming in from a cleric. Let's listen into what he has to say.
देखिए, मस्जिद अल्लाह का घर है, मस्जिद इबादत की जगह है। खाना काबा के अंदर औरतें आती हैं, बाहिजाब आती हैं, और मस्जिदें शबी हैं खाना काबा की, अल्लाह के घर की। मगर जो इमाम साहब ने, यानी जनाब अहमद बुखारी साहब ने जो बयान जारी किया है और जो मेरे इल्म में आया है कि लड़के और लड़की अकेले आते हैं और आके वो वहाँ मस्जिद के अंदर सेल्फ़ी लेते हैं और मस्जिद के अंदर घंटों बैठे रहते हैं और प्यार और मोहब्बत की बातें किया करते हैं। तो मस्जिद अल्लाह का घर है। जो उन्होंने इसके अंदर बयान दिया है कि अपने वालिदैन के साथ आएँ, अपने बुज़ुर्गों के साथ आएँ, नमाज़ पढ़ने आएँ, ये बात बिल्कुल सही है। मैं इसकी भरपूर तरीके से तायद करता हूँ कि मस्जिद के अंदर इबादत के वास्ते आना चाहिए। मंदिर हो, मस्जिद हो, गुरुद्वारा हो, चर्च हो, सिनेगाग हो, या इमामबाड़ा हो, कोई भी जगह हो, यहाँ के ऊपर आदमी मन की शांति के लिए आता है। यहाँ के ऊपर अगर इस तरीके से एक तफरीगाह बन गई तो उसका तकद्दुस, उसकी पवित्रता जो है वो ख़त्म हो जाएगी। और जहाँ की पवित्रता और जहाँ का तकद्दुस पामाल हो गया, फिर वो इबादत खाना नहीं रहता।
So absolutely regressive, patriarchal to say the least when we talk about this diktat that has been passed by the Jama Masjid, which says that single women will not be allowed to enter the Jama Masjid, and if at all they have to enter, they will have to be escorted by a man. In fact, the DCW chief has also issued a notice to the Jama Masjid, in which the DCW chief has stated, and I quote once again, that the decision to stop the entry of women in Jama Masjid is absolutely wrong. As much as a man has a right to worship, so does a woman. I'm issuing a notice to the Imam of Jama Masjid. No one has the right to ban the entry of women like this. Now, women also coming to the streets and saying that this is outright regressive and that this should not happen. The reason, and of course the Jama Masjid, they're saying that the reason why they've issued such a diktat is primarily because women were seen making TikTok videos inside the Jama Masjid. Well, that's the statement that has come in from the Jama Masjid. Absolutely ridiculous, regressive, patriarchal, to say the least, when we talk about this diktat, which says that women will have to be escorted by a man when they enter the Jama Masjid. In fact, the VHP is saying that they should learn from the Iran protest. So VHP also coming down heavily on this diktat that has been passed by the Jama Masjid, which restricts entry of single women inside the Jama Masjid. Well, we'll try to go across to our reporters as well who are there at the Jama Masjid to get us more reactions, to get us more voices on how the women are really coming out and saying that this is absolutely unacceptable. Remains to be seen what the Jama Masjid really says next, but for now what they are saying essentially is that the reason why they've come out with this diktat is because women were saying that the reason why they've come out with this diktat is because women were seen making TikTok videos. We also have Shivangi joining us from the Delhi newsroom. Shivangi, if you could talk to us more about the kind of voices we are getting from the Jama Masjid, what are the women really saying, and also the men about this diktat, which is absolutely ridiculous, that has been passed by the Jama Masjid.
Right. Well, the first thing I would like to say is that Samiksha, that DCW Chief Swati Maliwal has issued a notice to Imam of Jama Masjid saying no one has a right to ban entry of women like this. So, in a way, this is being seen as a very regressive step being taken, and all our viewers can see the signboard. Such a big signboard there, a huge signboard which clearly reads that women, single women, are not allowed entry inside the masjid. In fact, no one has a right to ban women like this. The big question right now, and Swati Maliwal also raising it, that no one has a right to ban women like this. Of course, we'll be going across to our reporters as well who are on ground to get more reactions, Samiksha, but this is a very, very big move being made. Now, the DCW chief has said in a Twitter post, the decision to stop the entry of women in Jama Masjid is absolutely wrong. As much as a man has a right, very, very important, as much as a man has a right to worship, so do women. I'm issuing the notice to the Imam of Jama Masjid. So the notice has gone as well. And the thing is that we should talk about how women, and we're talking about Muslim women as well, women as a whole, but particularly Muslim women all around the world are fighting for their rights. We saw those anti-hijab protests take place in Iran as well. Remember how women were chopping their hair. They were also removing their hijab and saying that we cannot be controlled like this. This is not what we want. We want our rights as humans, we want our rights as citizens, and we want our rights as women. And so as women across the world, Muslim women particularly, coming out and demanding their rights, this kind of signboard in front of Jama Masjid is not in a very good taste, Samiksha. And of course, the Muslim women they're battling for their rights all over the world. The famous Jama Masjid in New Delhi has taken an unusual step to prohibit girls from entering the mosque. The Jama Masjid management has issued the order preventing single or small
just
groups of
hold your
girls
thoughts for a
from
moment,
entering
please.
this mosque, Samiksha.
Yes, I'll just come back to you. We have Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi also joining us on the phone line. If I can get your response, what do you have to say about this diktat which reeks of nothing less than patriarchy, which restricts ban of entry of single women inside the Jama Masjid, and the fact that they will no longer be allowed to enter the Jama Masjid without a male colleague?
देखिए, जो शाही इमाम जामा मस्जिद के हैं मौलाना सैयद अहमद बुखारी साहब, और उन्होंने जो फैसला किया है बिल्कुल सही फैसला है, उनका दुरुस्त है, क्योंकि शरीयत इस्लामिया की रोशनी में अगर कहा जाए तो मस्जिद में और दरगाहों पर, मज़ारों पर औरतों की हाज़िरी या उनका दाखिला जो है वो पहले से ही ममनू है। ये नई बात नहीं है, और पहले से ही जो है वो मना किया गया है कि मस्जिदों में औरतें ना आएँ, मज़ारों पर, दरगाहों पर औरतें ना आएँ। ये पहले से कहा गया है, मगर उन्होंने बाज़ाब्ता तौर पर इस तरीके से एक बोर्ड लगा करके आगाह कर दिया। ये अच्छा काम, अच्छा कदम उन्होंने उठाया, क्योंकि जहाँ पर बेपर्दगी के साथ में मजहबी मुक़द्दस मकामात पर बेपर्दगी के साथ में ख़वातीन आती जाती हैं, तो वहाँ पर बहुत सारे मसाइल जो है वो उठ खड़े होते हैं। और तारीख़ में अगर आप जाके देखें, इस्लामी तारीख़ पर नज़र डालें, तो अहद नबवी यानी पैगम्बर इस्लाम सल्लल्लाहु ताला अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़माने में औरतें मस्जिद में आती थी, मगर जब शिकायतें जो है वो पैगम्बर इस्लाम पर पहुंची तो पैगम्बर इस्लाम ने औरतों को मस्जिद में आने से मना कर दिया, और ये हुक्म दिया कि औरतें अपने घरों पे नमाज पढ़ें और अपने घरों पर ही इबादत करें, और जितना सवाब उनको मस्जिद में आने से मिलता है उतना ही सवाब उनको घर पे नमाज पढ़ने या इबादत करने से मिलेगा। तो ये कोई नया उन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया है, उन्होंने वही किया है जो शरीयत कहती है, और बिल्कुल उनका फैसला दुरुस्त है। मैं उनके फैसले की हिमायत करता हूँ।
All right, Maulana Shahabuddin there speaking to us, and he's saying that he's welcoming the step that has been taken by the Jama Masjid, saying that women must not be allowed to enter the Jama Masjid. So that's the word coming in from Shahabuddin, the Maulana. We'll slip into a very short break for now, but on the other side, we'll continue to get you more news breaks and all that's making news from across the country. Indian Army sacrifice mocked, insulted and justified as Bollywood actor Richa Chadda now faces boycott call. She's forced to apologize. And sensational details emerge as Mangaluru blast probe gets bigger. Sources say cryptocurrency used to fund the blasts.
हॉलीडे प्लानिंग बॉलीवुड मूवी नहीं लगती?
कहा ना जेम नहीं भैया पूल।
दो भाइयों में दुश्मनी?
बस ब्रेकफास्ट इंक्लूडेड हो।
आस लगाए बैठी एक माँ।
बजट में आएगा?
एक कंजूस सेठ जी और मुझे बचाने हीरो की सीधी मार एंट्री।
16 करोड़ ऐप डाउनलोड्स, 29 लाख होटल्स और होम स्टेज, कमाल के प्राइसेस।
ये पिक्चर तो हिट है, अगर ट्राई करो।
मीडिया सर्कल्स में बातचीत चल रही है आम आदमी पार्टी को लेकर। क्या आम आदमी पार्टी एक फैक्टर है इस बार?
इंडिया में जरूर है। गुजरात में जब मैं 50% से ज्यादा मत प्राप्त कर रहा हूँ, तब वोट कितना और कहाँ बढ़ता है इसके कोई मायने नहीं रहते। भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस बार 50% से ज्यादा वोट प्राप्त करने जा रही है।
CCTV footage that we have now accessed, the jailed Minister Satyendra Jain in these pictures given food of his choice. In the application he had said that he's not been given food.
The national capital Delhi was once again rocked by a brutal murder. Keshav, who is just 25 years of age, was a drug addict, has murdered 4 of his family members.
According to the information that has been provided by police PRO, that it was a mass shooting that happened in a Virginia Walmart, and according to the information that it's multiple people have been reported dead.
कांग्रेस का प्रभाव कम हो रहा है, कांग्रेस की इंपैक्ट कम हो रही है, और वो जो वैक्यूम है वो कौन उसको फिल करेंगे?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी भी फील कर सकती है। हर बार जनता ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं ढूंढती है।
आप कह रहे हैं कि आपकी फाइट कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ, कांग्रेस को प्रिंसिपल ऑपोजिशन क्यों कह रहे हैं गुजरात?
क्योंकि वो है, मैं स्पेकुलेशन के आधार पर तो नहीं कर सकता, जमीनी हकीकत में वो है।
CCTV
मीडिया सर्कल्स में बातचीत चल रही है आम आदमी पार्टी को लेकर, क्या आम आदमी पार्टी एक फैक्टर है इस बार?
मीडिया में जरूर है। गुजरात में जब मैं 50% से ज्यादा मत प्राप्त कर रहा हूँ तब वोट कितना और कहाँ बढ़ता है इसके कोई मायने नहीं रहते। भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस बार 50% से ज्यादा वोट प्राप्त करने जा रही है।
And sexist diktat by Jama Masjid. Single women's right to pray now blocked.
Going to masjids, especially here in Jama Masjid. So I don't think it's a good decision at all.
Women's right to protest blocked by Jama Masjid. Uproar over move. Indian Army is sacrificed, mocked and insulted and justified as Bollywood actor Richa Chadha faces boycott call. She's been forced to apologize. Sensational details emerge as Mangaluru blast probe gets bigger. Sources say cryptocurrency used to fund blasts in Karnataka. Alright, and this is the latest that is coming in after actor Richa Chadha was forced to apologize. She's come under massive fire over her tweet on social media where she insulted the forces, saying Galvan says hi. After that response that came in of the initial tweet where the Indian Army said that they are absolutely ready to take over POK if the government gives an order.
सिटीजन्स का फर्ज बनता है कि उसके अगेंस्ट सारी लॉफुल एजेंसीज को कंप्लेंट करें ताकि इनके अगेंस्ट एक्शन लिया जाए। एज अ सिटीज़न भारतीय होने के नाते किसी को हक नहीं बनता है कि हमारे सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस को मॉक करें, उनका मजाक उड़ाएं, उनके बारे में अपशब्द कहें। ऋचा चड्ढा ने जिस तरीके से गलवन वैली में हमारे सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस ने जिस तरीके से जान दी थी, उसका जो मजाक उड़ाया, भद्दा मजाक उड़ाया, उसने काफ़ी डिस्टर्ब किया हम लोगों को। मुझे काफ़ी तकलीफ़ हुई है और मेरे तरह देश के काफ़ी लोगों के जिस तरीके से सोशल मीडिया पे रिएक्शन आया है, ये चीज़ें अलाउ नहीं होनी चाहिए। तो इसलिए मैं पुलिस स्टेशन आया और मेरी लॉ इन्फोर्सिंग एजेंसी है पुलिस स्टेशन, मेरा लोकल पुलिस स्टेशन है। मैंने एक लेटर दिया है कि इसके अगेंस्ट एक लॉफुली एक्शन लेना चाहिए, इसके अगेंस्ट FIR फाइल होनी चाहिए ताकि एक मैसेज जाए उन लोगों पे कि आप इस तरीके से मजाक नहीं उड़ा सकते सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस का। आप ये कहना चाह रही हैं कि हमारी हैसियत ही नहीं है सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस की कि वो POK को अपने साथ लें और वो लड़ाई जंग जीते। तो आपको तो हक ही नहीं बनता है सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस के बारे में। और ये सिर्फ सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जिन्होंने जाने दिए हैं, जो प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं हमारे हम लोगों को, पूरे देश को, आपको, ये उनके लिए नहीं, ये बेइज्जती उनके परिवार की भी है क्योंकि उनके परिवार ने जो है वो अपने घर का एक लाल खोया हुआ है। तो मैं और अपील भी करता हूँ हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से, टेलीविज़न इंडस्ट्री से कि पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पे कम से कम आकर ये भद्दे मजाक को कंडेम करें ताकि लोग हम पर उंगली ना उठाएं और उनका जो रोष है हमारी इंडस्ट्री के खिलाफ वो जस्टिफाई ना हो पाए।
FIR दर्ज हो चुकी है?
नहीं, अभी तो मैंने कंप्लेंट फाइल किया। पुलिस अपने हिसाब से लॉफुली जो जिस तरीके से वो फाइल करना चाहेगी वो करेगी, इसके अगेंस्ट एक्शन लेगी। मैं एज ए सिटीजन मेरा फर्ज बनता था पुलिस में कंप्लेंट करने के लिए कि एक्शन शुड बी टेकन। बाकी काम पुलिस का है, किस तरीके से करें, क्या करें और क्यों करें।
एक और सवाल पंडित जी, ऋचा ने माफ़ी भी नामा भी लिखा है। उन्होंने खुद ये कहा है कि मेरे नाना जी भी आर्मी में थे, मेरे मामू थे, रिश्तेदार थे जिन्होंने पैर में गोली भी खाई है 62 की।
ये सारी चीज़ें इनको ट्वीट करने के पहले याद करनी चाहिए थी। आपने ये सारी चीज़ें इनको ट्वीट करने के पहले याद रखनी चाहिए थी। जिसने भद्दा मजाक उड़ाया सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस का, अब इनको नाना भी याद आ रहे हैं, अपने मामा भी याद आ रहे हैं। ये ट्वीट करने के पहले क्यों नहीं याद आए? अब जब लोगों का रोष सामने आया है तो ये अपोलोजाइज़ करने की कोशिश कर रही है और बहुत ही बचकाना तरीके से ये अपोलोजाइज़ कर रही है। अपोलोजाइजेशन का कोई मतलब नहीं, कोई मकसद नहीं है। आपने शूट कर दिया है, आपने गोली चला दी है और आपने एक किस्म से हत्या की है, तो वो गोली घूम के वापस नहीं आएगी। आपने देश के खिलाफ एक स्टेटमेंट इशू किया क्योंकि सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जो है वो कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट करती है। उनके खिलाफ उनका भद्दा मजाक उड़ाकर आपने कंट्री को डिप्यूट किया, आपने कंट्री के खिलाफ एंटी नेशनल एक्टिविटी है मेरे हिसाब से।
सर इंग्लिश में जानना चाहेंगे कि आफ्टर द ऋचा चड्ढा स्टेटमेंट यू आर फाइलिंग द कंप्लेंट अगेंस्ट हर, व्हाट विल यू से ऑन इट?
I as a citizen of this country felt very hurt, and with me there are lakhs and lakhs of people who have felt hurt looking at the social media with this obnoxious anti-national statement of actress Richa Chadha. I strongly condemn it, and that's why I thought as a citizen I should make a police complaint against her. She should, I have appealed to the police that an FIR should be filed against her and lawfully action should be taken against her. Because nobody can get away by mocking our security forces. She has mocked the families of the security forces who have laid down their lives at Galwan and the way they fought for the country. In fact, she's also, if she's also alive and she's abusing our security forces, she's alive because of the security forces. They are protecting you. So it becomes my utmost duty to file a complaint against her so that action should be taken, and nobody can get away by mocking and making fun of our security forces. We respect them, we respect their families who have contributed to the country and who are protecting it. When you see the dead bodies of the security forces coming to their families and the way the families react, the way the families cry, they scream, they shout, I think this statement of hers, this mockery of hers should not be taken lying low. And I appeal to my film and television industry to, at least on the social media, condemn this obnoxious act of, anti-national act of Richa Chadha, so that tomorrow if people of this country react against the industry, there should be no justifications as far as condemnation is concerned. So I'm sure the industry, bigwigs, people in the industry, technicians will react to this and condemn this statement of hers so that this act from the industry is not repeated anymore.
All right, so that's the response coming in from Ashok Pandit, filmmaker. And remember, once again, the silence of Bollywood, by and large, not speaking against Richa Chadha, but she was forced to issue an apology after the backlash that she faced on this very tweet that she had put out, where there were very many responses of how she's hurt the families of martyrs and she's insulted the Indian Army. And we are shifting our focus to the big story that is dominating the headlines at this hour after the Imam of Jama Masjid has put out notices across Jama Masjid where he has ordered to ban the entry of a single woman or even women in groups not accompanied by a man to not be allowed to enter the Jama Masjid. This very patriarchal diktat that has now escalated a whole new controversy. And remember, no response coming in from the Imam yet. This as the Delhi Commission of Women has taken up the matter. Swati Maliwal has sent out a notice to the Imam saying that women have the right to worship and the decision to stop the entry of women is absolutely wrong. Let's listen into the reactions that have come in so far.
I don't think it's a right decision because in our Islam it's never allowed, and it's authentic as per Hadith as well, where we have been told that accompany your woman at night if she wants to go to masjid. So I don't think it's appropriate or it's a right decision to ban a woman going to masjids, especially here in Jama Masjid. So I don't think it's a good decision at all.
As far as the Jama Masjid the issue is concerned, whatever the Imam Sahib of the Jama Masjid has issued instructions regarding the people going to see or do prayer or offer namaz in Jama Masjid, it is as per the Shariat, and you all know, all people know that all places of worship are basically for worshipping, and masjid is also to offer namaz. So the sanctity of the masjid must be maintained, and whether it is a boy or girl, man or woman, whoever is visiting mosque, he or she must follow all the instruction so that nobody have any objection in visiting mosque by anyone.
भारत की बेटियों को जो लोग 3 तलाक, हलाला, हिजाब और काले बोरे में कैद करने की मानसिकता की ठेकेदारी करते हैं, वो लोग उन बेटियों को मदरसों में भेजने की तो वकालत करते हैं जो इस्लामिक सेक्स गैंग के अड्डे बन रहे हैं, लेकिन मस्जिद में लट्ठ लेके खड़े हो जाते हैं कि नहीं, मस्जिद में लड़की या लड़कियों को के अकेला दाखिला मना है.
And Sunil Singh from the JDU now joining us on the phone line. Sunil Singh, your response on this very patriarchal diktat by the Imam of Jama Masjid banning the entry of women unless they are accompanied by a male chaperone. Where do you stand on this?
Actually, we are for women empowerment. We are for equality among women. But as this matter is concerned, I think there should be a fair discussion and awareness in the Muslim masses, so that women are not banned to enter masjid. That shouldn't, everything cannot be forced as per law. Something should be come out of discussion. If there is something lacking in somebody's society, the discussion should be within the society. The intellectuals should undertake a discussion, and awareness should be within the society. We cannot force as per law. So in this matter also, we are for women having equal rights, and women should go to the masjid. But then yes, everything cannot be forced as per law. The awareness among the intellectuals should come from the Muslim masses. The Muslims should decide, and they should see to it that women enter, women get the equal right. Not only in entering the masjid, women should be going with the equal right, and women empowerment is primary focus area, and we are for that. Yes.
Absolutely. And when the same is allowed at Haji, at Umrah, at many other Islamic worship places, and why is it that Jama Masjid Imam is issuing such a diktat? I want to thank you for speaking to us this afternoon. Gayatri from Republic Bharat is standing at Jama Masjid at this point. Gayatri, if I can speak to you, and you're trying to get more voices from there, what exactly are women saying? Because as far as the administration is concerned, the only justification they've given out is that because women make TikTok videos at Jama Masjid, so they've banned them from doing so. But this is absolutely bizarre. This cuts no ice, because that could be done by men, that could be done by women who are even accompanied with men. I mean, what sort of a notice is this, and how is it people on the ground are reacting?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. देखिए, यही सवाल हमने भी पूछा था जामा मस्जिद के जो असिस्टेंट पीआरओ हैं, उनसे हमने पूछा था. लेकिन सबसे पहले हम वो बोर्ड दिखाएंगे. देखिए, जो जामा मस्जिद के तीनों गेटों पर लगा गया है, जो पट्टी जामा मस्जिद के तीनों गेटों पर लगी है, सबसे पहले हम अपने दर्शकों को वो दिखाएंगे जिस पर साफ तौर पर लिखा है कि जो अकेली लड़कियां हैं, जो अकेली लड़की अगर यहाँ पर पहुंचती है, ये देखिए, ये पट्टी हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं गेट नंबर 3 पर इस वक्त मौजूद है, और ये पट्टी यहाँ पर लगाई हुई है. जामा मस्जिद में लड़की और लड़कियों का अकेले दाखिला मना है. इसको लेकर हमने सवाल पूछा तो साफ तौर पर कहा कि जिस तरीके से टिकटॉक बनाए जाते हैं, उसको लेकर ये बैन लगाया गया है. हमारे साथ इस वक्त RWA जामा मस्जिद जनरल सेक्रेटरी सलमान कुरैशी इस वक्त हमारे साथ मौजूद है. आइए उनसे बात करते हैं. ये जो बोर्ड लगाया गया है सलमान कुरैशी, इसका मतलब क्या है? क्योंकि कई सवाल उठ रहे हैं इसको लेकर.
देखिए यहाँ पर क्या था कि हमारी मीटिंग हुई थी इमाम साहब से इस बात को लेकर के, क्योंकि यहाँ पर इस बोर्ड से पहले कुछ हरकतें यहाँ पर हो रही थी और वो बहुत वायरल हुई थी। आपने भी देखा होगा टिकटॉक पर वीडियोस वायरल हो रही थी, मस्जिद की बेहुरमती हो रही थी, लोग यहाँ आकर बहुत पर्सनल हो रहे थे और गुलाब का फूल तो ऐसे पेश कर रहे थे जैसे ये पिकनिक
ये तो अगर कोई किसी अगर लड़कियाँ पुरुषों के साथ भी जाती है तो वो तो अंदर जाकर वो भी ये कर सकती हैं, टिकटॉक बना सकते हैं, रील्स बना सकते हैं।
मैं बता देता हूँ किसी भी इबादत
Right, so those are the voices that are coming in from the ground. We'll try and cut across to those responses yet again. For the moment, Zeenat Shaukat Ali is also with me on the phone line. Zeenat, are you angry over this order? Is it hurtful as a Muslim woman to be told that you cannot enter the Jama Masjid, and that very bizarre explanation coming in that because women make TikTok videos inside, so we are not allowing them? I mean, that makes no sense, Zeenat.
I think you're absolutely 100% right. Why men don't make videos? It's why should always the onus come on women? You see, this is the very sad part of it, that if a man is making a video, still the blame will come that the woman is making the video. So the whole point of this discussion seems to be utterly meaningless and very misogynistic, and some excuse to keep the women out. You know, there is nothing else that I can see in it, because neither Islam encourages women to encourages women's spirituality. It gives the same rewards to those who pray in this, whether you, cutting across both genders. It gives you equal dignity cutting across genders. So what is this, the meaning? In the Kaaba, women go to pray, which is the first mosque of Islam. In the Masjid al-Nabawi, people
Magic
go to
noise. It's just like a kettle boiling its head off.
In Saudi Arabia,
Here he is, Tendulkar to Donald.
In the African countries, in Indonesia and the Southeast Asia, all women go to the mosque to pray, and nobody has come out with this kind of a story. So the whole point becomes that, you know, you deliberately want to have a patriarchal and misogynistic mindset, and you want to, inflict it with women and disturb women's spirituality. When you go to a mosque, the intention there is to pray. You see, the intention is to become spiritually, submissive to God. The whole point is that, you know, when you bring about arguments like this discouraging women, you're keeping women behind, and you're always differentiating and always discriminating, which has nothing to do with Islam, unfortunately.
प्रेमस्त समुद्रासारखं कोणाच्या नशिबी लाट.
Absolutely, it is, Zeenat, because in the modern day world where women stand in power with men, and not just that, they're superseding men in so many areas, even in those countries where women are being suppressed in the name of religion. But today women are standing for their rights. In countries where they are so suppressed, they are standing for the very fact that they cannot be forced to put on the veil. And at a time like this in India, where we moved on from such a mindset, from such an ideology, where we allow that space to women, we see an imam
It's really sad. It's totally tragic, you know, and I think that it is something, an order that it has to be overcome. They have to, I'm sure that at some stage they're going to take this order back, because it's not going to work. Women's organizations are going to stand and voice their opinions that this is very patriarchal, misogynistic, and, unacceptable.
I'm sure, Zeenat, they will have to make a turnaround on that. We'll track every response very, very closely. For the moment, thank you for joining us. We continue to stay put on this story. For the moment, we also have to slip into a very short commercial break. A quick check of what's lined up on the other side. Sensational details emerge as Bengaluru blast probe is getting bigger. Sources say cryptocurrency is being used to fund blasts in Karnataka.
हॉलिडे प्लानिंग बॉलीवुड मूवी नहीं लगती?
कहा ना जिम नहीं भैया पूल.
दो भाइयों में दुश्मनी? बस ब्रेकफास्ट इंक्लूडेड हो. आस लगाए बैठी एक माँ.
बजट में आएगा?
एक कंजूस सेठ जी और मुझे बचाने हीरो की सीधी मारेंगे.
16 करोड़ ऐप डाउनलोड्स, 29 लाख होटल्स और होम स्टेज, कमाल के प्राइसेस.
ये पिक्चर तो हिट है, अगर ट्राई करो.
और विश्वसनीयता भी देखते हैं.
Huge number of government employees are on the street. There's a ruckus on the street. Their demand about increasing the DA. This is one of the important issues here in West Bengal.
The gruesome murder case of Shraddha. In fact, a video has now surfaced where the video is from those days when Shraddha was studying BMM. 2 blasts went off near bus stops in Jerusalem, injuring at least 14 people in what police said were suspected attacks by Palestinians.
दिनों में चुनाव प्रक्रिया शुरू हो जाएगी। पिक्चर क्या लग रहा है आपको इस वक्त?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी बहुत अच्छी पोजीशन में है। 1990 के बाद गुजरात में भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक भी चुनाव नहीं आ रही है।
2002 में 127 सीटें मिली थी।
हम इससे
आप कह रहे हैं 2002 के नंबर को आप क्रॉस करेंगे इस बार?
जरूर, इससे ज्यादा सीटें।
CCTV footage that we have now accessed, the jailed minister Satyendra Jain in these pictures given food of his choice. In the application he had said that he's not been given food.
The national capital Delhi was once again rocked by a brutal murder. Keshav, who is just 25 years of age, was a drug addict, has murdered 4 of his family members.
According to the information that has been provided by police PRO, that it was a mass shooting that happened in a Virginia Walmart, and according to the information that it's multiple people have been reported dead.
जो नया ट्रेंड बना है, ये प्रॉमिस करेंगे फ्री नौकरी, फ्री। मुझे कहता है लैमिनेटेड कार्ड बांटे जा रहे हैं गुजरात में। किसी ने कहा आम आदमी पार्टी बांट रही है कि आपको गारंटीड नौकरी मिलेगी।
जो कार्ड बांट रहे हैं, उन्होंने वादे इतने दिए हैं। गुजरात का बजट है 2,42,000 करोड़ और 3,72,000 करोड़ के वादे अब तक हो चुके हैं। और ये कह रहे हैं हम फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट पढ़ाएंगे। गुजरात में 1960 से प्राथमिक शिक्षा फ्री है। वोट देते वक्त सब लोग अपना माइंड भी अप्लाई करते हैं, ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड भी देखते हैं और विश्वसनीयता भी देखते हैं।
Huge number of government employees are on the street. There's a ruckus on the street. Their demand about increasing the DA. This is one of the important issues here in West Bengal.
The gruesome murder case of Shraddha. In fact, a video has now surfaced where the video is from those days when Shraddha was studying BMM. 2 blasts went off near bus stops in Jerusalem, injuring at least 14 people in what police said were suspected attacks by Palestinians.
दिनों में चुनाव प्रक्रिया शुरू हो जाएगी। पिक्चर क्या लग रहा है आपको इस वक्त?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी बहुत अच्छी पोजीशन में है। 1990 के बाद गुजरात में भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक भी चुनाव नहीं आ रही है।
2002 में 127 सीटें मिली थी।
हम इससे
आप कह रहे हैं 2002 के नंबर को आप क्रॉस करेंगे इस बार?
जरूर, इससे ज्यादा सीटें।
CCTV footage that we have now accessed, the jailed minister Satyendra Jain in these pictures given food of his choice. In the application he had said that he's not been given food.
The national capital Delhi was
Crackdown on terror in the Kashmir Valley continues as the SIA, State Investigating Agency, is conducting raids in Anantnag, Shopian and also in Pulwama and other districts of the Kashmir Valley. The search is related to the terror funding in the Kashmir Valley. As far as the Shopian raids are concerned, the BDC and the DDC members, their residence were frisked. Similarly, one of the advocates working in the courts of the Srinagar, his place is being raided, and also we are seeing the raids in the Pandret and Srinagar and the other places. The police is maintaining that they have certain leads as far as the terror funding in the Kashmir Valley is concerned, and on the basis of getting the leads from the different sources, now the searches are being done. Although SIA is working very hard in the Kashmir Valley as far as to uncover the terror network in the Kashmir Valley. Many people were also arrested. The terror hideouts were also busted, and meanwhile SIA last time sealed the properties of Jamaat Islam Army in South Kashmir. So we can say overall that people and the government is really looking to take the terror network out from the Kashmir Valley so that there is no bloodshed and the law and order is maintained in the valley. With Vijay Firdoswani, I'm Zina Zishan Fazil for Republic in Srinagar.
Time now for a short break. On the other side, Shraddha murder probe widens as Killer Aftab's polygraph test is underway.
सीट की रैली में आपने एक कमेंट की, द्वारका में इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शंस हुए हैं, उसको डेमोलिश करने के लिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी को कांग्रेचुलेट करता हूं। इसकी बैकग्राउंड में कई लोगों ने कहा कि एक समुदाय को टारगेट किया जा रहा है।
द्वारका देश भर के करोड़ों लोगों की श्रद्धा का केंद्र है।
बिल्कुल,
देश में किसी भी जगह पे, विशेषकर दरियाई सीमा के द्वीप पर अगर इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट होते हैं और इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट रिलीजियस बेसिस पर होते हैं तो और बड़ा खतरा है। मैं अभी भी कहता हूं कि मैं गुजरात सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री और गुजरात सरकार के गृह मंत्री अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूं कि बड़ी दृढ़ता के साथ ये सफाई इन्होंने की है।
राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के मुद्दे पर एक सवाल मेरा ये है कि जो आपने आइडियोलॉजी की बात कही और आप गृह मंत्री है देश के, क्या आपको लगता है कि ये जो आईसिस आइडियोलॉजी वाले लोग हैं, जिहादी आइडियोलॉजी वाले लोग हैं, इस पर और क्या किया जा सकता है इसको बिल्कुल इस प्रॉब्लम को एलिमिनेट करने के लिए?
आईसिस की आइडियोलॉजी हो या जिहादी आइडियोलॉजी हो या पीएफआई पहले जो अपनी प्रवृत्तियां करता था वो हो, जिस दिन कोई भी विचार, कोई भी संगठन, कोई भी गतिविधि इस देश की इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए खतरा बनेगी, इसको हम सहन नहीं करेंगे और बहुत दृढ़ता के साथ इसको क्रश करेंगे।
जो नया ट्रेंड बना है, ये प्रॉमिस करेंगे फ्री नौकरी, फ्री। मुझे कहता है लैमिनेटेड कार्ड बांटे जा रहे हैं गुजरात में। किसी ने कहा आम आदमी पार्टी बांट रही है कि आपको गारंटीड नौकरी मिलेगी।
जो कार्ड बांट रहे हैं उन्होंने वादे इतने दिए हैं। गुजरात का बजट है 2,42,000 करोड़ और 3,72,000 करोड़ के वादे अब तक हो चुके हैं और ये कह रहे हैं हम फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट पढ़ाएंगे। गुजरात में 1960 से प्राथमिक शिक्षा फ्री है। वोट देते वक्त सब लोग अपना माइंड भी अप्लाई करते हैं, ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड भी देखते हैं और विश्वसनीयता भी देखते हैं।
And cutting across to breaking news, coming in, investigation into the cash seized from Congress Party's vehicle in Surat is being conducted by the Income Tax and the Enforcement Directorate. Now, Republic has been able to access the CCTV footage of Sandeep running away from the spot where that car had been seized. And Congress is still maintaining that the car does not belong to the party. There were at least 75 lakh rupees that were seized from that car, which allegedly belongs to the Congress Party. Authorities have a reason to suspect foul play since the day of the seizure when Rahul Gandhi had arrived in Surat and this car was seized by the Election Commission. Now an investigation that is underway in this matter. That CCTV footage on your screens right now where this car allegedly belongs to the Congress Party. An investigation be conducted by the Income Tax and Enforcement Directorate. And they're looking into details of whether this car belongs to the Congress Party and what about the 75 lakh rupees that was seized from this car. On that note, it's time for us to slip into a very short commercial break. On the other side, we're getting you a big Republic Bangla exclusive news break. Stand by for all the details for this big story.
इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में कहा नो मनी नो टेरर वाली बात आपने कही, तो इस पर जितने हमारे दर्शक है और राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर दर्शक है वो जानना चाहते हैं कि इस पर और क्या किया जा सकता है।
जहाँ तक देश की की आंतरिक सुरक्षा और बाह्य सुरक्षा का सवाल है। किसी भी खतरे के लिए हमारी जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति बरकरार रहेगी और दृढ़ता के साथ आगे बढ़ेगी। और भारत सरकार की सारी एजेंसियां बड़ी मुस्तैदी के साथ भारत की आंतरिक सुरक्षा को मजबूत करने के लिए पैनी नजर रखकर सजग हैं।
आप वीर सावरकर को लेकर कुछ भी कह सकते थे। जो लोग हिंदुत्व में विश्वास रखते हैं वो पहले से ज्यादा असर्टिव हो गए हैं।
हमारी पार्टी के विचार, हम सब के विचार, देश का इतिहास, इस सबको साइड पर रखकर उनकी दादी के अभी स्टेटमेंट पढ़ लेते तो उनको मालूम पड़ता। वीर सावरकर के जीवन को आप पूरी बारीकी से देखेंगे तो हिंदू संस्कृति, भारतीय संस्कृति के लिए उनका पक्ष और एक मजबूत विचार एक डायमेंशन है।
सीट के रैली में आपने एक कमेंट की, द्वारका में इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शंस हुए हैं, उसको डेमोलिश करने के लिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी को कांग्रेचुलेट करता हूं। इसकी बैकग्राउंड में कई लोगों ने कहा कि एक समुदाय को टारगेट किया जा रहा है।
द्वारका देश भर के करोड़ों लोगों की श्रद्धा का केंद्र है।
बिल्कुल,
देश में किसी भी जगह पे, विशेषकर दरियाई सीमा के द्वीप पर अगर इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट होते हैं और इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट रिलीजियस बेसिस पर होते हैं तो और बड़ा खतरा है। मैं अभी भी कहता हूं कि मैं गुजरात सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री और गुजरात सरकार के गृह मंत्री अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूं कि बड़ी दृढ़ता के साथ ये सफाई इन्होंने की है।
Viewers, it's time for Superfast 50. I'm Shivangi Shukla. Let's get started. Richa Chadha has now been, in fact, facing backlash online for mocking India's Galwan martyrs in response to Northern Army Commander Lieutenant General Upendra Dwivedi's comments. Responding to a post on the Statement of Intent, Chadha wrote, Galwan says hi. Bollywood actor Richa Chadha has been forced to apologize after facing criticism for insulting and mocking the Indian Army in her latest tweet. This comes after the actor reacted to the statement of Northern Army Commander that the Indian Army is ready to take back the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The actor also locked her Twitter account after social media users started trolling her for insulting and mocking the security forces. A complaint has been filed against Bollywood actor Richa Chadha on Thursday over an outrageous tweet insulting and mocking the Indian Army and specifically the Galwan martyrs. Supreme Court advocate Vinny Jindal has filed a complaint against Richa Chadha, stating that the Bollywood actor has mocked the sacrifice of the Indian Army soldiers at the Galwan Valley. All-out anger across nation against Richa Chadha for outrageous posts mocking India's Galwan martyrs. The filmmaker Ashok Pandit has also filed a complaint against the Bollywood actor.
आप इस तरीके से मजाक नहीं उड़ा सकते सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस का। आप ये कहना चाह रही हैं कि हमारी हैसियत ही नहीं है सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस की कि वो पीओके को अपने साथ लें और वो लड़ाई जंग जीते। तो आपको तो हक ही नहीं बनता है सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस के बारे में। और ये सिर्फ सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जिन्होंने जाने दिए हैं, जो प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं हमारे हम लोगों को, पूरे देश को, आपको, ये उनके लिए नहीं, ये बेइज्जती उनके परिवार की भी है, क्योंकि उनके परिवार ने जो है वो अपने घर का एक लाल खोया हुआ है। तो मैं और अपील भी करता हूँ हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से, टेलीविज़न इंडस्ट्री से कि पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पे कम से कम आकर ये भद्दे मजाक को कंडेम करें ताकि लोग हम पर उंगली ना उठाएं और उनका जो रोष है हमारी इंडस्ट्री के खिलाफ वो जस्टिफाई ना हो पाए।
An unprecedented diktat by the New Delhi Jama Masjid administration has sparked controversy. Delhi's Jama Masjid has decided to bar the entry of women without men inside the mosque premises. Now, the development comes after Jama Masjid administration issued an order prohibiting the entry of solitary or groups of women in the mosque. Very shocking move. A notice was put out outside Delhi's Jama Masjid. According to the notice, entry of women who are alone and women in groups banned in Jama Masjid. Soon after the controversial diktat of Delhi, Jama Masjid, VHP has lambasted the Masjid Authority. VHP leader has stated that the Masjid Authority must learn from the ongoing anti-hijab protest in Iran.
भारत की लगभग 20% बेटियों को जो लोग 3 तलाक, हलाला, हिजाब और काले बोरे में कैद करने की मानसिकता की ठेकेदारी करते हैं, वो लोग उन बेटियों को मदरसों में भेजने की तो वकालत करते हैं जो इस्लामिक सेक्स गैंग के अड्डे बन रहे हैं, लेकिन मस्जिद में लट्ठ लेके खड़े हो जाते हैं कि नहीं, मस्जिद में लड़की या लड़कियों को के अकेला दाखिला मना है। भारत को सीरिया बनाने की मानसिकता पाले।
Days after the assembly polls in Gujarat, BJP has escalated its campaign and deployed Top Gun in the poll-bound state. PM Modi is on a 2-day visit to the state.
नरेंद्र भाई तुम आगे बढ़ो, नरेंद्र भाई तुम आगे बढ़ो, नरेंद्र भाई तुम आगे बढ़ो।
While campaigning in Gujarat, in fact, campaign in Gujarat has JP Nadda speaking exclusively to Republic TV's Ashurya Kapoor has dismissed the Aam Aadmi Party factor.
कर लिया, एक तरफा है। इतने साल ऐश्वर्य भाई, मैं इतने साल से राजनीति का कार्यकर्ता के रूप में काम कर रहा हूँ। यह चुनाव एक तरफा दिख रहा है। मुझे तो कार्यकर्ताओं को बोलना पड़ रहा है कि भाई एकदम तुम कॉम्प्लेसेंट मत हो जाना। आप आ रही है ये वो, इनका रिकॉर्ड क्या है? ये बैनर बेस्ड पार्टी है, ये एडवर्टीजमेंट बेस्ड पार्टी है।
The startling unfolding of events now. Startling unfolding of events, Mangaluru blast probe has taken an interesting turn as the sources have said that the central agencies are now probing the funding behind the blast. Reports say the Sharik and his handlers used a cryptocurrency and dark web to make transactions and receive funds online for blasts in Shimoga and Mysuru. Sharik, who used multiple Aadhaar cards, traded in bitcoins and received funding online from the Middle East. The Delhi High Court issued a notice to Vijay Nair and Hyderabad-based businessman Abhishek Gunpalli on CBI plea challenging a trial court order granting them bail. Both Vijay Nair and Abhishek Gunpalli are key accused in Delhi liquor scam controversy. PM Modi lauded the Goa government in its step toward providing jobs to the youth via the distribution of appointment letters to the new recruits. The Prime Minister said that the step will strengthen the Goa police, further enhancing the convenience of the people, especially tourists. Lieutenant General Asim Munir was on Thursday appointed as the new Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan, ending weeks of intense speculation, political tussle in the country. General Bajwa, 61 years old, is slated to retire next week after a 3-year extension. The State Investigation Agency has conducted raids in Kishtwar area of the Jammu and Kashmir area. The raids in connection with Pakistan's module of terror recruitment using cyberspace and providing logistic support to terrorists. Now, the SIA, Jammu and Kashmir Police, CRPF and Army were also part of those raids. Telangana Minister Malla Reddy booked for snatching laptop, mobile phone and other evidences from income tax officer. On Tuesday, income tax officials had conducted raids at various locations, including the residence of State Minister Malla Reddy in Secunderabad. Incident of firing upon a woman was reported in Murlipura PS area of Rajasthan, Jaipur. Now, the victim has now been admitted to a hospital and her condition is stable. According to Rajasthan police, a complaint has been filed against her in-laws. It has come to the knowledge that their relatives were unhappy with the marriage. A huge package has been dropped in Samba sector of Jammu and Kashmir via drone from Pakistan. The consignment found in Swanka area of Vijaypur. Security personnel rushed to the spot and recovered IED, pistols and 9 packets of cash. Fugitive diamond merchant Nirav Modi has now filed an application in the High Court in London seeking permission to appeal against its extradition order in the Supreme Court. A 51-year-old diamond heir lost an appeal on mental health grounds earlier this month when a 2-judge High Court bench ruled that his risk of suicide was not such that it would be either unjust or oppressive to extradite him to India to face charges of fraud and money laundering in the estimated $2 billion Punjab National Bank loan scam case. High Court of Gujarat has pulled up Gujarat government. The court has stated that the government needs to do a thorough check of all bridges and to do a survey on the condition of bridges. They're also to submit the fitness certification for the bridges, and the procedure for maintenance will also to be filed before the High Court. Mamata Banerjee-led TMC government in West Bengal has been facing the heat over the disparity in DA of the state government employees. The government employees have now staged mega protests in the streets of Kolkata. Delhi court has deferred the hearing of the alleged money laundering case involving actress Jacqueline Fernandez and conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar's case for December 12th. The actress had appeared at the Patiala House Court today in the morning hours for a hearing in the 200 crore money laundering case involving conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Governor Koshyari will leave for Delhi on November 24th afternoon and return on November 25th. He is expected to meet the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, and Home Minister Amit Shah. Meghalaya CM has now led a cabinet delegation, will now meet Amit Shah. And yesterday, the CM had met the family members of the victims of the firing that took place along the Assam-Meghalaya border. UP State Yogi Adityanath to visit Prayagraj to address a gathering at the parade ground and facilitate tourists attending month-long Kashi Tamil Sangamam being held in Varanasi. Assam government has requested the central government for a CBI probe into firing incident in the area called Mukro along the Assam-Meghalaya border. The CBI probe demand comes a day after 6 people were killed in the firing incident. Even as the row over Richa Chadha's taunt controversy continues, Bollywood fraternity chooses to remain silent. Not a single Bollywood representative has commented on the issue. Meanwhile, Richa has refused to apologize. In fact, she has now put a statement out, and she has said that she did not mean the tweet of her mocking India's martyrs. Meanwhile, the Muslim cleric have supported the move. They have put their argument that taking selfies and pictures inside the prayer room affects the sanctity of a place. Hence, this decision of saying that single women cannot go inside Jama Masjid has been made.
मस्जिद इबादत की जगह है। खाना काबा के अंदर औरतें आती हैं, अब्बा हिजाब आती हैं और मस्जिदें शबी हैं खाना काबा की, अल्लाह के घर की। मगर जो इमाम साहब ने जाने जनाब अहमद बुखारी साहब ने जो बयान जारी किया है, जो मेरे इल्म में आया है कि लड़के और लड़की अकेले आते हैं और आके वो वहाँ मस्जिद के अंदर सेल्फी लेते हैं और मस्जिद के अंदर घंटों बैठे रहते हैं और प्यार और मोहब्बत की बातें किया करते हैं। तो मस्जिद अल्लाह का घर है। जो उन्होंने इसके अंदर बयान दिया है कि अपने वालिदैन के साथ आएँ, अपने बुज़ुर्गों के साथ आएँ, नमाज़ पढ़ने आएँ, ये बात बिल्कुल सही है। मैं इसकी भरपूर तरीके से तायीद करता हूँ।
A shocking abuse of power by the MLS. MLS workers slapped the manager of a hotel in Navi Mumbai for not playing Marathi songs. Former Karnataka CM and Janata Dal secular leader H.D. Kumaraswamy stated that his party is open to electing a Muslim leader. State's chief minister of his party comes to power in the upcoming 2023 assembly elections. He further added that Muslims are also an integral part of the society and they're also Kannadiga. The big achievement for the Indian Navy, the second ship of the Project 15B stealth-guided missile destroyers that was built in the Shipbuilders Limited of Mazgaon was delivered to Indian Navy today. The contract for 4 ships of Project 15B was signed on January 28th in the year 2011. The backdrop of the current Russia-Ukraine crisis, UN Security Council members have appealed to Russia to stop attacking Ukraine after Moscow recently unleashed a new missile onslaught on Ukraine's battered energy grid, robbing cities of power, some of the water and public transport too. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Russia's permanent UN Security Council said was effectively empty as no one in the world wants to hear Russia lies. Having urged the body to reform the veto power, the president has further told Ukrainians that up to 11 regions of the country had been plunged into complete darkness. With over 30,000 cases, China's daily COVID tally has hit a record high, although numbers are relatively small when compared with China's vast population of 1.4 billion. An Beijing's strict zero-COVID policy has caused fatigue and resentment among many areas of the population, sparking sporadic protests and hitting productivity in the world's second-largest economy. More rescuers and volunteers have been deployed in devastated areas on Indonesia's main island of Java to search for the dead and missing from an earthquake that killed at least 271 people. The death toll was like to rise, with many people still missing. Some remote, devastated areas still unreachable, and more than 2,000 people returned in Monday's 5.6 magnitude quake. 10 days after 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their rooms, police have said that they still have not identified the suspect have found a murder weapon, and they continued asking for tips and surveillance videos. As the family members of the victims still await justice, police authorities continue to promise that they are doing their best for a breakthrough. The alleged shooter facing possible hate crime charges in the fatal shooting of 5 people at a Colorado Springs gay nightclub was ordered held without bail. In an initial court appearance on Wednesday, as the suspect sat slumped over in a chair. Extending apology, suspect's father has said that there is no excuse for the going and the killing of people. The World Health Organization's European director spoke out against Russia's strikes on Ukrainian healthcare facilities as he toured several hospitals in the city as well. China's expanding virus lockdowns, including in a central city where factory workers clashed this week with police as a number of COVID-19 cases hit a daily record. Workers in parts of Beijing were loudly building metal barricades to keep people in their apartment complexes. People can only be seen going out to buy food or get medical treatment. When coming or going almost anywhere, people need to show and scan their health QR codes. The National Monetary Fund has asked China to ramp up its COVID-19 vaccinations while stressing the need to recalibrate the strategy to deal with the virus to address challenges arising from the property sector. Showing and the slowing global demand, and this recommendation came just after an annual review of China's economic policy, which saw virtual discussions between IMF and the several senior policy officials on reform progress and challenges and policy responses. Indonesian President Joko Widodo said that the focus for rescuers would now remain on evacuating, finding dozens of people who are still missing from Monday's earthquake that killed at least 271 people. He has stated that steep conditions, rain, aftershocks and an unstable ground were making search efforts difficult in the mountainous district.
Whatever has to happen will happen.
Real striker Kiefer Moore opined about the Iranian players not singing the national anthem as a sign of protest for the current political situation in their country.
Yeah, it's we all believe in stuff, and it's something they believe in and believe strongly to represent as a nation. That's a credit to them.
The trials are over at the APP World Tour event, and the world pros got to show off their skills for real. A new men's and women's world champion will be announced soon.
Today is I advance to next round 3. Good waves. I like this wave. Same in my city, Santos. It's right, good ride. I like this. Keep going to next round to advance.
The Arizona Cardinals have now fired offensive line coach and run game coordinator Sean Kugler. Cardinals haven't not confirmed the dismissal, but the coach was no longer listed on the team's website.
Yeah, obviously he's been relieved of his duties, as you've seen, but out of respect to the ongoing process, it's really limited on what I can say, and so I'll just leave it with that.
Dutch midfielder Davy Klaassen says he's backed Germany following their protest during the team photo ahead of their World Cup match with Japan.
I think it's a nice variation on the armband. I think it's a good statement, a statement that we share with the 7 countries, and yeah, I think it was a good way to do it.
Terry Rozier scored 9 of his 22 points in the final 5 minutes as the Charlotte Hornets now rallied past Philadelphia 76ers 107-101 on Wednesday night in a matchup of injury-riddled teams.
Set his man up nicely to go back.
Kyrie Irving did not shy away from praising Ben Simmons' current form. He added that according to him, Ben is currently the best shooter in the world.
You know, stats prove it right now. He's the best in the world, best shooter in the best league in the world right now. So, you know, we just want him to remain confident and shoot the opportunities that he gets out there. He makes the game a lot easier for us. And when you have guys that are willing to sacrifice their body night to night, you want to reward them, especially when they're shooting the ball well.
Jose Mourinho said Japan's stunning 2-1 victory over Germany in the World Cup opener was not a crazy surprise because he believes the current crop of European players are focused too much on the individual and not the team.
I think at this moment in European football there is a big focus on the individual, a big focus on egos, and when I look to your profile as people, your profile as country. I never coached Japanese players, but I coached Asian players. In my case, I was lucky because I coached the best Asian player, and I understand that the mentality is really special. It's really, the team is the most important thing. People plays for the team, they don't play for themselves.
Panthers took advantage of 7 power play chances by scoring 3 goals with a man advantage, including 2 in the second period, and beat the Bruins 5-2. Williamson had a season-high 32 points along with 11 rebounds, and the Pelicans never trailed while handling the Spurs their 6th straight loss, 129-110 in last night's game. And USA and Arsenal goalkeeper Matt Turner has termed England as favourites to elevate the FIFA World Cup trophy in Qatar. USA are set to lock horns with England of their Group B match on November 26th.
Look forward to the chances to compete against your peers. Obviously friends off the field, and then when you get onto the pitch, it's full focus for 90 minutes. Some very talented players on the team, favorites to win the tournament. So it's going to be a big challenge. It's going to take tremendous focus, but we're looking forward to it.
केजरीवाल जी ने इस बार हिंदू कार्ड प्ले करने की कोशिश की।
कोई किसी भी कार्ड को प्ले करे, भारत की जनता और विशेषकर गुजरात की जनता इतनी भोली भाली नहीं है कि 1-2 टोचकों से या 1-2 स्टेटमेंट से किसी और बह जाए। अरे भारतीय जनसंघ से लेकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी तक हमने कहा था कि हम 370 धारा को जब भी हमें मौका मिलेगा हटाएंगे। एक देश में 2 निशान, 2 प्रधान, 2 विधान नहीं चल सकते, और हमने हटाकर दिखाया।
यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड की बात आपने जो उठाई, 3 राज्यों में क्यों, राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर क्यों नहीं?
हमने कहा था कि हम इस देश में कॉमन सिविल कोड की पैरवी करेंगे, और अगर हम पावर में आते हैं तो इसको लाएंगे। 1950 में कहा था, और आज कॉमन सिविल कोड के लिए भारत के 3 राज्यों ने इनिशिएटिव लिया है। एक चर्चा बहस छिड़ी है, कुछ ही समय में 3 राज्यों में कॉमन सिविल कोड आपको दिखाई पड़ेगा।
CCTV footage that we have now accessed the jailed Minister Satyendra Jain. In these pictures, given food of his choice. In the application, he had said that he's not been given food.
The national capital Delhi was once again rocked by a brutal murder. Keshav, who is just 25 years of age, was a drug addict, has murdered 4 of his family members.
According to the information that has been provided by police PRO, that it was a mass shooting that happened in a Virginia Walmart, and according to the information that it's multiple people have been reported dead.
That matter was related to some class about forest timbers. We have ordered a judicial inquiry. We have also referred the matter to the investigation by CBI or NI. Compensation has been announced. Person responsible has been put under suspension. But just to clarify, that has nothing to do with border, the way it is reported in national media. It was a basically clash between the villagers and police regarding certain forest timbers.
There was talk between you and Meghalaya. Do you think it will hamper this?
It has nothing to do with border. This was not the clash relating to the border, and I don't think that it has anything to do with the border talks. गृह मंत्री जी खुद यहाँ आई ना हमारा अनुष्ठान.
Huge fires erupted at an oil field in northeast Syria after they were targeted by Turkish airstrikes in Catania on Wednesday. In J&K, the multi-location raids which are taking place in several locations, and these raids, we are told, are linked to terror funding. The cylinder blast which has been reported, which has claimed lives of 2 people, which includes a 35-year-old woman as well as her 3-year-old child in Ooch district.
चुनाव प्रक्रिया शुरू हो जाएगी. पिक्चर क्या लग रहा है आपको इस वक्त?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी बहुत अच्छी पोजीशन में है. 1990 के बाद गुजरात में भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक भी चुनाव नहीं हारी है.
2002 में 127 सीटें मिली थी.
हम इससे
आप कह रहे हैं 2002 के नंबर को आप क्रॉस करेंगे इस बार?
जरूर, इससे ज्यादा सीटें.
सर्कल्स में बातचीत चल रही है आम आदमी पार्टी को लेकर. क्या आम आदमी पार्टी एक फैक्टर है इस बार?
इंडिया में जरूर है. गुजरात में जब मैं 50% से ज्यादा मत प्राप्त कर रहा हूँ, तब वोट कितना और कहाँ बढ़ता है इसके कोई मायने नहीं रहते. भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस बार 50% से ज्यादा वोट प्राप्त करने जा रही है.
का प्रभाव कम हो रहा है, कांग्रेस की इंपैक्ट कम हो रही है, और वो जो वैक्यूम है वो कौन उसको फिल करेंगे?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी भी फील कर सकती है. हर बार जनता ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं ढूंढती है.
आप कह रहे हैं कि आपकी फाइट कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ. कांग्रेस को प्रिंसिपल ऑपोजिशन क्यों कह रहे हैं गुजरात?
क्योंकि वो है. मैं स्पेकुलेशन के आधार पर तो नहीं कर सकता. जमीनी हकीकत में वो है.
केजरीवाल जी ने इस बार हिंदू कार्ड प्ले करने की कोशिश की.
कोई किसी भी कार्ड को प्ले करे, भारत की जनता और विशेषकर गुजरात की जनता इतनी भूली भाली नहीं है कि 1-2 टोचकों से या 1-2 स्टेटमेंट से किसी और बह जाए.
हटलोडिया सीट के रैली में आपने एक कमेंट की, द्वारका में इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शंस हुए हैं, उसको डेमोलिश करने के लिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी को कांग्रेचुलेट करता हूं. इसकी बैकग्राउंड में कई लोगों ने कहा कि एक समुदाय को टारगेट किया जा रहा है.
द्वारका देश भर के करोड़ों लोगों की श्रद्धा का केंद्र है.
बिल्कुल.
देश में किसी भी जगह पे, विशेषकर दरियाई सीमा के द्वीप पर अगर इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट होते हैं और इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट रिलीजियस बेसिस पर होते हैं तो और बड़ा खतरा है. मैं अभी भी कहता हूँ कि मैं गुजरात सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री और गुजरात सरकार के गृह मंत्री अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूँ कि बड़ी दृढ़ता के साथ ये सफाई इन्होंने की है.
CCTV footage that we have now accessed, the jailed minister Satyendra Jain in these pictures given food of his choice. In the application he had said that he's not been given food.
The national capital Delhi was once again rocked by a brutal murder. Keshav, who is just 25 years of age, was a drug addict, has murdered 4 of his family members.
According to the information that has been provided by police PRO, that it was a mass shooting that happened in a Virginia Walmart, and according to the information that it's multiple people have been reported dead.
National Investigation Agency has taken the custody of Lawrence Bishnoi in the case that was registered by the agency with regards to gangster and their nexus that is operating and targeting the high-profile personalities in Punjab and other parts of the country. Today morning, the teams of the NIA reached the Bathinda jail and took the custody of Lawrence Bishnoi. It is expected that Bishnoi will now be taken to New Delhi for the further investigation. This case was registered by the National Investigation Agency after the killing of Sidhu Moosewala and recent incidents wherein the gangster networks have emerged that how on the behest of ISI and other foreign powers they are carrying out killings in Punjab and other parts. Over 100 locations have already been raided by the National Investigation Agency in the subsequent raids that have happened after the case was registered, and now Lawrence Bishnoi has been taken into custody by NIA. With Sir Jeevan Kumar, Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network.
Let's get you a quick check of our top stories at this hour. The patriarchal and sexist diktat by Jama Masjid. It says single women not allowed to pray inside.
A woman going to masjids, especially here in Jama Masjid. So I don't think it's a good decision at all.
Women's right to protest is blocked by the Jama Masjid. There is uproar over the move. The women say, why don't we have the right to pray? Indian Army sacrifices mocked and insulted and justified as the Bollywood actor Richa Chadha now is facing a boycott call. She is forced to apologize. Sensational details emerge as the Mangaluru blast probe now gets bigger. Sources say cryptocurrency possibly used to fund these blasts in Karnataka. The Shraddha murder probe widens. Killer Aftab's polygraph test is underway as we speak. And this is MNS hooliganism that is caught on camera. Hotel manager is slapped for not playing Marathi songs. A very good afternoon and thank you for staying with us here on Republic. First up, we are putting our focus on what's happened in Gujarat. Remember, there's a lot of politics, yes, but also considerable amount of seizures. This is actually something that happens close to every election. An investigation now into this cash that has been seized from the Congress party vehicle in Surat is being conducted as we speak by the Income Tax and the Enforcement Directorate now. Republic has accessed the CCTV footage of BN Sandeep, who's seen running away from the spot. We'll just put that out on the screens also in a bit, where you see the car that has also now been seized. So that is BN Sandeep. You see him marked there in that CCTV footage that has been accessed by Republic. Now what the Congress says is that this car did not belong to them. There were at least 75 lakh rupees that have been seized from the car of the Congress party. So what do we know about the story? What will happen? Let's quickly connect with Priyanka, who's tracking that story for us live right now. You know, Priyanka, close to every election, you will see that there is a lot of seizure that the agencies do. But this is a visual proof that actually has been caught on camera. We see that man running away. We are given to understand that he was running away from a car that actually belonged to the Congress party. Now, what is it officially that we know about the case, about the man, about the amount of cash that has been seized and the investigation so far? That's right, Deepti. Running away, and how? Because we see that CCTV footage that has in fact come out in this particular incident day before yesterday in the night, in the wee hours of the morning. In fact, we had seen that the Election Commission's STT that does the survey to find out if there are any MCC violations in the state, since there is a moral code of conduct that has been implemented. Since it's just days before the elections, we are seeing that they had seized this car. So there was a car that had been found with the MH number plate, in fact, of a Congress leader who had about 75 lakhs in his car, and that is the leader that we see in the CCTV footage running away from the authorities. Now, this CCTV footage is in fact just a few meters away from the spot where the car had been seized by the Election Commission and by the other authorities as well, who then later on went on to chase BM as well. The Congress leaders, there were three leaders, in fact, we were being told, in the car, and the authorities had chased them. And since then, we are seeing that a massive controversy has also erupted, since the Congress party claiming that this is not their car, that this is not their cash. But we do see that there were pamphlets of the Congress party, that there were other posters of the Congress party inside of the car, and also stuck on the windshield of the car as well. So that, of course, also bursts the theory of the Congress party claiming that this is not their car. And also authorities have now shared with us that this is a point of concern for them, since this car had been seized on the day, remember Deepti, day before yesterday, in fact, when Rahul Gandhi had come to Gujarat, he had come to Surat specifically, and that's where this car in fact had also been seized from. So what really was this cash being used for is something that the authorities are going to also be looking into. But for the time being, we do see the CCTV footages as well that we have exclusively accessed that show how this leader had in fact been trying to flee the scene. He was trying to jerk all responsibility to say that this was not his car, that this was not a car with the Congress party, that the cash inside of the car was not with the Congress party as well. Priyanka. So this is the kind of line that is being taken by the Congress party. But of course, we're being told that the authorities are going to be looking into this, and they're going to be trailing the cash as well to understand where this cash was being brought in from and what it was specifically and more importantly being brought in for. Yeah, the Jama Masjid.
Yes, Priyanka, I'll just take a moment to once more, go full frame on these images, because this is interesting. I think this is what viewers need to see, and perhaps we do not know whether the Congress will be even wanting to respond to these charges or not, but the BJP already is using this opportunity to hit out at Rahul Gandhi. Now, for a moment, let's keep our focus and the spotlight on this CCTV grab. Now, this is BM Sandeep. He's the National Secretary of the Congress, who purportedly had come to collect 75 lakhs. So he was there to collect cash, Priyanka, worth about 75 lakhs. But he notices the police. He notices that there are cops. He possibly is under the radar. The reason why he decides to flee. And if you notice for a moment, Priyanka, he looks back. He turns around. He looks back. As if, he's sensing that he's being watched. He was under the radar. So there is that, element of guilt written all over this entire sequence that we are playing out. I want to now know from you, what is it that we've heard officially from the Congress? And where is this man right now? Is he being even questioned?
Well, we had seen Deepti for momentarily, in fact, when the Congress party leaders and also the driver who was in the car had been brought in, and they had been questioned, they had been detained, but then they had been let go of as well, is something that we're seeing. But there is a complaint and there is an investigation that is now being looked into by the income tax authorities and also by the enforcement directorate, in fact, who are going to be looking into the entire cash trail, the money trail, as to why this cash was being brought in to Surat. Because remember, Deepti, this is not really looking good for the Congress party. This comes in the backdrop of the kind of allegations that have been leveled by their very own candidates, where they have said that the president and the senior party leaders collect cash for tickets as well. And in the backdrop of that, we see that once again, that cash was being collected by, as you pointed out, by the Congress leaders as well. And there were national level leaders that had been present there in Surat. And of course, it also brings up the question as to the timeline of this event, since the car had been seized on the day that Rahul Gandhi had been in Surat, and not just Rahul Gandhi. He travels with several other top leadership of the Congress party from Delhi, and they were also there in Surat as well. So this is something that this is being in fact investigated as far as the money trail is concerned. But for the moment, the Congress party completely saying that this is not their car, this is not their cash, and they are completely being silent on this entire matter. And of course, very rightly you pointed out, Deepthi, the signs of guilt are on there and the CCTV footage as well. We can see that the Congress leaders captured in that CCTV footage as well, looking over their shoulders, running away from the authorities, and we have seen how authorities had also been chasing them. So this is kind of the scenario that has happened the day before yesterday, wee hours of morning, in fact, when this cash had been seized by the authorities, and of course Income Tax and Enforcement Directorate are going to be looking into the same.
All right, so Battle of Gujarat, they're actually at a very, very critical stage, Priyanka, and a lot of loose ends, a lot of unanswered questions, and we trust you to keep us ahead, and let's see if the Congress party decides at all to respond to this big election controversy. What was this 75 lakh cash doing in that car? Did that car belong to a Congress neta? Why was this man in charge of the Congress party running away? For the moment, Priyanka, I thank you for breaking those details for us as we move on now to get our viewers a quick check of more stories that we are tracking at this hour. The Delhi High Court has issued a notice to Vijay Nair and a Hyderabad-based businessman, Abhishek Boinpalli. This is on a CBI plea, challenging a trial court order granting them bail. Now, do remember, both of them are key accused in the Delhi liquor scam controversy.
खाना नहीं खाते और फोन चलाते, अगर फोन ना दे तो खाना नहीं खाते, बहुत सारे केसेस होते हैं. तो देखिए,
The Prime Minister lauded the Goa government in its step towards providing jobs to the youth via distribution of appointment letters to the new recruits. The Prime Minister said that this step will strengthen the Goa police further, enhancing the convenience of the people, especially tourists.
I enjoy everything. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कितनी भी देर स्पोर्ट्स खेलते हैं.
Lieutenant General Asim Munir has now been appointed and named as the new chief of the army staff of Pakistan. This, remember, is ending weeks of intense speculation and political tussle that you've seen in the neighboring rogue state of Pakistan. General Bajwa is slated to retire next week after a 3-year extension.
And I also find मेरे को फोन अब अच्छा ही नहीं लगता.
To Jammu and Kashmir now, where the SIT has conducted raids in Kishtwar area of Jammu and Kashmir. These raids are in connection with the Pakistan module of terror recruitment using cyberspace and providing logistical support to terrorists. The JNK police, along with the SIA, the CRPF and the army, were all part of these raids. Telangana Minister Malla Reddy has been booked for snatching laptop, mobile phone and other evidences from an income tax officer. Now on Tuesday, the income tax officials had conducted raids at various locations, including the residence of the State Minister Malla Reddy in Secunderabad. An incident of firing upon a woman was reported in Murlipura police station. This is in Jaipur. The victim has been admitted to a hospital. Her condition is said to be stable. According to the Rajasthan police, a complaint has been filed against her in-laws. It has come to the knowledge that their relatives were possibly unhappy with the marriage. A huge package has been dropped in the Samba sector of Jammu and Kashmir via drone from Pakistan. This consignment was found in the Swankha area of Vijaypur. The security personnel rushed to the spot. They recovered IED, pistols, and also 9 packets of cash. The fugitive diamond merchant Nirav Modi has filed an application in the High Court in London, and he is seeking permission now to appeal against his extradition order in the Supreme Court. Do remember, earlier he is lost an appeal on mental health grounds when a 2-judge High Court bench ruled that the risk of suicide was not such that it would be either unjust or oppressive to extradite him to India to face charges of fraud and money laundering in the PNB loan scam case. The High Court of Gujarat has pulled up the government. The court has said that the government needs to do a thorough check of all bridges and also to do a survey on the condition of the bridges in the state. They've also been asked to submit fitness certificates for the bridges, and the procedure for maintenance will also be filed before the High Court. A notice outside the Delhi's Jama Masjid has sparked a huge controversy, and according to the notice that you will just see on your screens in a moment, the entry of solitary women and women in groups is banned in the Jama Masjid. We head into a quick break right now, but on the other side, we keep our focus on this story. Look very, very closely at what's written and plastered there on the walls of the Jama Masjid. It makes it very clear that if you are a single woman or even a group of women, you are not allowed to come inside the Jama Masjid. On the other side, more reactions to that story. Also, these are sensational details that have emerged as the Mangaluru blast probe now gets bigger. Sources indicate cryptocurrency was used to fund these blasts.
झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके हैरत से आंखें अपनी सी दुनिया नई रंगी लागे ख्यालों की खिड़की से मन कूदे भागे झाके रे झाके झरोखे से झाके देख के दम है छोटे बड़े सारे झाके रे झाके हर कोई ताके तरक्की को टुक टुक हर कोई ताके झाके रे झाके
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
जो नया ट्रेंड बना है, ये प्रॉमिस करेंगे फ्री नौकरी फ्री। मुझे कहता है लैमिनेटेड कार्ड बांटे जा रहे हैं गुजरात में। किसी ने कहा आम आदमी पार्टी बांट रही है कि आपको गारंटीड नौकरी मिलेगी।
जो कार्ड बांट रहे हैं उन्होंने वादे इतने दिए हैं। गुजरात का बजट है 2,42,000 करोड़ और 3,72,000 करोड़ के वादे अब तक हो चुके हैं और ये कह रहे हैं हम फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट पढ़ाएंगे। गुजरात में 1960 से प्राथमिक शिक्षा फ्री है। वोट देते वक्त सब लोग अपना माइंड भी अप्लाई करते हैं, ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड भी देखते हैं और विश्वसनीयता भी देखते हैं।
Huge number of government employees are on the street. There's a ruckus on the street. Their demand about increasing the DA. This is one of the important issues here in West Bengal.
A gruesome murder case of Shraddha. In fact, a video has now surfaced where the video is from those days.
Welcome back. You're with us here on Republic, and we are putting our focus now on a story that concerns all of us, because this once again reiterates what certain people believe that they can get away with. If you're a woman and if you want to get into the Jama Masjid and by luck you are alone, or even if you're a group of women, you cannot enter the Jama Masjid. There is no right to pray for you. There is no freedom of religion for you. In fact, what the Jama Masjid has done is that they've plastered that notice that you see on your screens, where entry of solitary women and even women in groups has been banned. This is coming after this order has been put out, and following this, the NCW chief, in fact the DCW chief, Swati Maliwal, has hit out, and she says that the decision to stop the entry of women in Jama Masjid is absolutely wrong. And before we get you reactions that have continued to come in on that big breaking story, let's also listen in to what we heard from the Jama Masjid itself justifying this ban.
The issue is concerned, whatever the Imam Sahib of the Jama Masjid has issued instructions regarding the people going to see or do prayer or offer namaz Jama Masjid. It is as per the Shariat, and you all know, all people know that all places of worship are basically for worshipping, and masjid is also to offer namaz. So the sanctity of the masjid must be maintained, and whether it is a boy or girl, man or woman, whoever is visiting mosque, he or she must follow all the instruction, so that nobody have any objection in visiting mosque by anyone.
So before we get you more reactions, I'm told Nivedana joining us live right now from outside the Jama Masjid. Nivedana, I don't know what to say. I mean, should we be outraged? Should we be shocked? Should we be ashamed? Should we be embarrassed? Or should we be just plain simple angry? Because not the very first time that you have a religious institution, you have the Jama Masjid there, telling you and me what we need to do. So unless, you're accompanied by a man, you cannot step inside Jama Masjid. Why?
Absolutely, Deepti. Now, as you're pointing out that as well, remember this is at a time when Muslim women also have been fighting for their rights across the world. In fact, we'd also seen that anti-hijab protests as well. But talking about the notice that's been put, this is exactly where I'm reporting from, gate number 3. You can see the notice that's been put out here in Hindi, which says Jama Masjid mein ladkiyan ladkiyon ko ka akele dakla mana hai. So this is the particular notice which has been put out right here, which of course is also pointing out in a sense the misogynist viewpoint as well. But on the other hand, when we're talking to certain people over here as well, a lot of young voices did go on to mention that why is it that only the women are being pointed out, because there were some concerns. In fact, I'm actually joined in by Salman Qureshi, who is the RWA Secretary of Jama Masjid, who's joining us live over here, where he believes that at this point of time the notice that has been put out here is absolutely justified. So Salman Qureshi, talk to us about the fact that in your opinion, you're justifying the fact that this notice over here is correct.
Basically we have to understand this line first. बेसिकली अगर मैं आपसे बात करूं कि यहाँ पर रील्स बनाई जा रही थी, वीडियोस बनाई जा रही थी और मस्जिद की कहीं ना कहीं बेहुरमती हो रही थी, किसी भी रिलीजियस प्लेस पर आप बेहुरमती करेंगे या डिसरिस्पेक्ट करेंगे उसको, तो वो ठीक नहीं है. हमने इमाम साहब से इस बारे में बात की थी और हमने कहा था कि यहाँ पर लोग नाच गाना कर रहे हैं, इसको जो है वो मतलब पॉइंट जो बना दिया, नेगेटिव इमेज जा रही थी जामा मस्जिद की, और उस पर जो सवाल उठ रहा था वो कहीं ना कहीं इमाम साहब पर और इमाम साहब की टीम पर ये सवाल उठ रहा था कि क्यों कपल्स यहाँ करके पर्सनल हो रहे हैं, यहाँ आके नाच गाना कर रहे हैं. एक धार्मिक स्थल है और यहाँ की रिस्पेक्ट होनी बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो जब हमने उस बारे में इमाम साहब से बात की तो इमाम साहब ने बताया कि हमने बाकायदा यहाँ पर एक टीम अपॉइंट कर रखी है जो इस तरह की एक्टिविटियों को रोकता है, और साथ ही साथ हम लोग वक्तन फ़वक्तन अनाउंसमेंट भी करते हैं कि इस तरह की एक्टिविटी को ना किया जाए. तो जब हमने इमाम साहब से ये बात कही कि देखिए हिंदुस्तानी नहीं विदेशी सैलानी भी जो है वो जामा मस्जिद में आते हैं और उनको एक नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट वो जाता है.
बट द पॉइंट बीइंग कि अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि सोशल मीडिया का यूजेज है और टिकटॉक वीडियोस बनाते हैं, तो व्हाई इज इट दैट ओनली लड़कियों के लिए मेंशन किया जाता है? सोशल मीडिया इज यूज्ड बाय बोथ जेंडर्स. इवन इफ योर ऑब्जेक्शन इज द फैक्ट दैट दीज वीडियोस आर बीइंग मेड हियर एट द फैक्ट दैट इट इज इन some sense that this is of course a move that you do not appreciate within a religious place like this. But the fact of the matter is that why is it that only women have been singled out, and especially with the fact that it is single women and women in groups.
बेसिकली ये जो लाइन लिखी गई थी उसका मकसद समझना बहुत अहम है, बहुत ज़रूरी है. जैसे मैंने आपसे बताया कि जब इस पर सख्ती हुई तो जामा मस्जिद के काफ़ी सारे गेट्स हैं, तो होता क्या था कि एक गेट से लड़की आ गई, दूसरे गेट से लड़का आ गया, और फिर दोबारा यहाँ पर रील्स और वीडियो और टिकटॉक और बेशर्मी और बेहयाई जो है वो मस्जिद के अंदर फैलाना उन लोगों ने शुरू किया. तो इसी वजह से इमाम साहब ने और टीम ने एक मैसेज देने की कोशिश.
बट कुरैशी साहब, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि एक जेंडर को क्यों रूल आउट किया जा रहा है? अगर आपने अभी पॉइंट आउट किया कि फॉरेन नेशनल्स भी यहाँ आते हैं बिकॉज इट इज अ टूरिस्ट अट्रैक्शन, इनफैक्ट वी कैन सी राइट हियर इन आवर विजुअल्स एज वेल. तो आप कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे कि हु इज अलाउड एंड हु इज नॉट अलाउड एट दिस पॉइंट?
दरअसल डिसअलाउ किसी को नहीं है, सबसे पहले हमें समझना पड़ेगा, और उस लाइन के अंदर करेक्शन की रिक्वायरमेंट है, उस बारे में हम इमाम साहब से बात करेंगे और हम कहेंगे कि इस लाइन के अंदर ये बात क्लियर कर दी जाए कि कोई भी बेहयाई या डिसरिस्पेक्ट या बेशर्मी जो है वो मस्जिद के अंदर ना हो, चाहे वो लड़का हो या लड़की हो.
पर इशू जो वहाँ पे लिखा गया है वो लड़कों के लिए कुछ लिखा नहीं गया है, और अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि यू आर गोइंग टू बी सेटिंग अप अ कमिटी जो इस तरह के चीज़ें को नहीं अलाउ करेगी, तो देन व्हाई इज इट रूलिंग आउट? द सिंगल क्वेश्चन ओवर हियर इज व्हाई आर वुमेन बीइंग ओनली स्टेटेड इन दैट नोटिस?
जैसे कि मैंने आपसे बताया कि इस लाइन के अंदर करेक्शन की रिक्वायरमेंट है और मैं उसी को आपको ब्रीफ कर रहा हूँ कि ये
आप मानते हैं कि दोनों जेंडर्स के लिए लिखना जाना चाहिए था?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, वो कहीं ना कहीं करेक्शन की उसमें रिक्वायरमेंट है और हम इमाम साहब से इस बात को कहेंगे तो वो उसको कंसिडर करेंगे, क्योंकि हमने ही कहा था कि यहाँ जिस तरह की एक्टिविटी हो रही है और यहाँ के मैसेज वायरल हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि देश भर में नहीं पूरी दुनिया के अंदर जो है यहाँ के मैसेजेस वायरल होते हैं, यहाँ की वीडियो वायरल होती हैं, और ये देखा जा रहा था कि सिर्फ देश के लोग ही नहीं, यहाँ तक कि विदेशी लोग भी जो है यहाँ पर हमारे देश के लोगों को देख करके नाच गाना कर रहे हैं और वो टिकटॉक बना रहे हैं। तो एक गलत मैसेज जो है वो वर्ल्ड वाइड जा रहा था, क्योंकि हमारे देश की धरोहर है जामा मस्जिद जो है, वो हमारी देश की धरोहर है और हम सबका ये फ़र्ज़ बनता है कि अगर कुछ इस तरह की एक्टिविटी हमारे जामा मस्जिद के अंदर हो रही है तो उसको रोका जाए।
ठीक है, आप बेसिकली बता रहे हैं कि जो टिकटॉक वीडियो से आपको ऑब्जेक्शन था उसके लिए ये नोटिस किया जा रहा है, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ आप बोल रहे हैं कि आपको लगता है कि ये डेफिनेटली गलत है कि सिर्फ विमेन को इसमें डाला गया है उस नोटिस में, एंड आप बोल रहे हैं कि ये नोटिस को चेंज किया जाएगा।
जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा कि इसमें करेक्शन की रिक्वायरमेंट है और वो इमाम साहब से हम बात करेंगे, टीम से बात करेंगे, और हमें उम्मीद है कि जब हमारे कहने पर उन्होंने सख्ती शुरू करी, हमारे कहने पे ही तो, क्योंकि यहाँ पर क्या होता क्या था कि ज़िम्मेदार लोगों के पास ही इस तरह के मैसेज जाते हैं और हम जब देखते हैं कि हम खुद जामा मस्जिद पर रहते हैं और इस तरह के मैसेज जो है वो वर्ल्ड वाइड जा रहे हैं तो हमें ठेस पहुँचती है, क्योंकि इस्लाम जो रिलीजन है वो महिलाओं को बहुत रिस्पेक्ट करता है और वो इसलिए मैंडेटरी नहीं करता महिलाओं को कि आप मस्जिद में आकर नमाज अदा करें, जबकि मैंडेटरी जो है वो मेल्स को किया गया कि आप मस्जिद आएँ और नमाज को अदा करें, जबकि महिलाओं को ये छूट दी गई कि आप अपने घर में भी नमाज को अदा कर सकते हैं, मगर डिसअलाउ किसी को नहीं है। फिर मैं आपको बार बार ये क्लियर कर देना चाहता हूँ।
ठीक है, थैंक यू Krishi साहब for talking to us. Well, Deepti, on one hand, of course, the notice clearly states that single women or women in groups are not allowed. But Salman Qureshi was currently in conversation with us, the RWA secretary, is saying that on one hand, he is pointing out with the fact that this issue was raised because of the fact they believe that objectionable usage of TikTok videos was being made inside this religious place. But like we asked him, why is it that only one gender was singled out? He says right now that they are going to be correcting that notice. They do believe that at one point it's a mistake, but that of course only time is going to tell if they're going to be changing that particular notice, Deepti.
देखिए, मस्जिद अल्लाह का घर है, मस्जिद इबादत की जगह है। खाना काबा के अंदर औरतें आती हैं, अब्बा हिजाब आती हैं और मस्जिदें शबी हैं खाना काबा की, अल्लाह के घर की। मगर जो इमाम साहब ने यानी जनाब अहमद बुखारी साहब ने जो बयान जारी किया है और जो मेरे इल्म में आया है कि लड़के और लड़की अकेले आते हैं और आके वो वहाँ मस्जिद के अंदर सेल्फ़ी लेते हैं और मस्जिद के अंदर घंटों बैठे रहते हैं और प्यार और मोहब्बत की बातें किया करते हैं। तो मस्जिद अल्लाह का घर है। जो उन्होंने इसके अंदर बयान दिया है कि अपने वालिदैन के साथ आएँ, अपने बुज़ुर्गों के साथ आएँ, नमाज़ पढ़ने आएँ, ये बात बिल्कुल सही है। मैं इसकी भरपूर तरीके से तायीद करता हूँ कि मस्जिद के अंदर इबादत के वास्ते आना चाहिए। मंदिर हो, मस्जिद हो, गुरुद्वारा हो, चर्च हो, सिनेगाग हो या इमाम बाड़ा हो, कोई भी जगह हो, यहाँ के ऊपर आदमी मन की शांति के लिए आता है। यहाँ के ऊपर अगर इस तरीके से एक तफरीगाह बन गई तो उसका तकद्दुस, उसकी पवित्रता जो है वो ख़त्म हो जाएगी, और जहाँ की पवित्रता और जहाँ का तकद्दुस पामाल हो गया फिर वो इबादत खाना नहीं रहता।
Huge fires erupted at an oil field in northeast Syria after they were targeted by Turkish airstrikes in Catania on Wednesday.
In J&K, the multi-location raids which are taking place in several locations, and these raids, we are told, are linked to terror funding. The cylinder blast which has been reported, which has claimed lives of 2 people, which includes a 35-year-old woman as well as her 3-year-old child in Ooch district.
सीट के रैली में आपने एक कमेंट की, द्वारका में इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शंस हुए हैं, उसको डेमोलिश करने के लिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी को कांग्रेचुलेट करता हूं। इसकी बैकग्राउंड में कई लोगों ने कहा कि एक समुदाय को टारगेट किया जा रहा है।
बेंचमार्क का देश भर के करोड़ों लोगों की श्रद्धा का केंद्र है।
बिल्कुल।
देश में किसी भी जगह पे, विशेषकर दरियाई सीमा के द्वीप पर अगर इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट होते हैं और इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट रिलीजियस बेसिस पर होते हैं तो और बड़ा खतरा है। मैं अभी भी कहता हूँ कि मैं गुजरात सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री और गुजरात सरकार के गृह मंत्री अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूँ कि बड़ी दृढ़ता के साथ ये सफाई इन्होंने की है।
राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के मुद्दे पर एक सवाल मेरा ये है कि जो आपने आइडियोलॉजी की बात कही और आप गृह मंत्री है देश के, क्या आपको लगता है कि ये जो आईसिस आइडियोलॉजी वाले लोग हैं, जिहादी आइडियोलॉजी वाले लोग हैं, इस पर और क्या किया जा सकता है इसको बिल्कुल इस प्रॉब्लम को एलिमिनेट करने के लिए?
आईसिस की आइडियोलॉजी हो या जिहादी आइडियोलॉजी हो या पीएफआई पहले जो अपनी प्रवृत्तियां करता था वो हो, जिस दिन कोई भी विचार, कोई भी संगठन, कोई भी गतिविधि इस देश की इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए खतरा बनेगी, इसको हम सहन नहीं करेंगे और बहुत दृढ़ता के साथ इसको क्रश करेंगे।
जो नया ट्रेंड बना है, ये प्रॉमिस करेंगे फ्री नौकरी, फ्री। मुझे कहता है लैमिनेटेड कार्ड बांटे जा रहे हैं गुजरात में। किसी ने कहा आम आदमी पार्टी बांट रही है कि आपको गारंटीड नौकरी मिलेगी।
जो कार्ड बांट रहे हैं
You're watching the news at 4 p.m. I'm Suesha Sawant, and our focus in this edition is the tweet that Richa Chadda had to delete after she faced a lot of backlash for insulting the Indian Army. But the big question in this edition, should she have refrained from putting out that tweet? Does this reflect her mindset? That and much more that we'll discuss in this edition. But first, a quick check of the headlines we're tracking. Patriarchal and sexist diktat by Jama Masjid. Single women's right to pray now blocked.
Ban a woman going to masjids, especially here in Jama Masjid. So I don't think it's a good decision at all.
Women's right to pray blocked by Jama Masjid. Uproar over the move. Indian Army sacrifice mocked and insulted and then justified as Bollywood actor Richa Chadda faced boycott call. She was forced to apologize. Sensational details emerge as Mangaluru blast probe gets bigger. Sources say cryptocurrency used to fund blasts in Karnataka. Shraddha murder probe widens. Killer Aftab's polygraph test underway. MNS hooliganism caught on camera. Hotel manager slapped for not playing Marathi songs. Yes, actor Richa Chadda, who was in the center of a big controversy this morning. Why? Because she put out a tweet. What was that tweet about? The Northern Army commander who put out the first tweet saying that the Indian Army is ready to take back POK. They're waiting for orders from the government and they can carry out a quick operation. To which Richa Chadda responded. 3 words that landed her in this big controversy where she said, Galwan says hi. She mocked the Indian Army. She insulted our martyrs, and that obviously did not go down well on social media, where she had to face a lot of criticism, for criticizing our martyrs. Then, after a while, she was forced to delete that tweet and put out an apology. She put out an apology saying that it was unintentional, 3 words that have been dragged into such a big controversy. And she also went on to say that her family has an illustrious background when it comes to the Indian Army. Her grandfather had taken a bullet in the Indochina War. Her uncle was a paratrooper. She feels what it is when a family loses a son who is martyred, and she is apologetic for that. This, remember, is bringing us to a lot of questions. Was it her mindset in the very first place, and after the backlash that she faced, she took back all those tweets? Lot of reactions that poured in on this, and of course, why is Bollywood still silent? Why aren't the biggies going on to condemn Richa Chadda? Listen in to the reactions that have come in so far.
बॉलीवुड फिल्मों की कोई एक्ट्रेस है रीचा चड्ढा, हम तो ज़्यादा जानते नहीं। मालूम पड़ा है कि हमारे सेना के बड़े अधिकारी ने एक ट्वीट किया कि पीओके हमारे भारत का अभिन्न हिस्सा है, हम उसे लेकर ही रहेंगे, ज़रूरत पड़ी तो कठोर कदम उठाएंगे, कड़ी कार्रवाई करेंगे पाकिस्तान पर, लेकिन पीओके लेकर रहेंगे। उस पर ये महिला कहती हैं कि गलवान सेज हाय, तंज कस रही हैं गलवान को लेकर। अरे तुम क्या जानती हो गलवान के बारे में? 1-1 इंच जमीन के लिए हमारे देश के जवान शहीद हो गए, और आप ऐसी भाषा का उपयोग कर रही हैं कि गलवान सेज हाय। मैं मांग करता हूं महाराष्ट्र के उप मुख्यमंत्री और गृह मंत्री श्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी से कि ऐसी महिला पर, ऐसे कलाकार पर तुरंत कार्रवाई करें। इतना जहर आप भारत के खिलाफ लाते कहां से हैं? इतनी कड़वाहट भारत के खिलाफ लाते कहां से हैं? ऐसे कलाकारों पे पाबंदी लगनी चाहिए जो देश विरोधी ट्वीट करते हो और देश के खिलाफ काम करते हैं।
These are the kind of reactions that poured in, where she was asked to refrain from commenting if she does not understand what happened in Galwan in depth. She was clearly targeted for insulting the Indian Army, insulting our martyrs, after which she was forced to delete that tweet. She made a U-turn now, and she said that 3 words have been dragged into such a controversy. She went on to add to this tweet saying that her family members come from the Indian Army. Her grandfather had taken a bullet in the Indochina War. Her uncle is a paratrooper. She also said that she feels what it is like for the families of martyrs. She said that it was totally unintentional. She apologized for hurting sentiments, but was deleting that tweet was an apology enough? Should she not have put out that tweet in the first place? And why comment on Galwan if she did not know enough? Listen into the other reactions that have come in.
फिल्म जगत की अभिनेत्री सुर्खियों में आने के लिए, ओछी पब्लिसिटी पाने के लिए, क्या वो हमारे फौजी भाइयों का अपमान करेगी? इन्हें हो क्या गया है जो हमारे जवान अपने परिवार को, बच्चों को, माता पिता को छोड़कर दिन रात देश की सीमा पर खड़े हैं, हमारी रक्षा कर रहे हैं, समय आने पर अपनी जान की शहादत देश के लिए दे देते हैं। उनका तो मस्तक झुका करके उनका सम्मान होना चाहिए। एयर कंडीशन बंगले में बैठकर इस प्रकार की घिनौनी मानसिकता रखने वाली यह अभिनेत्री क्या समझेगी उनका समर्पण? सारा देश चाहता है कि वे हाथ जोड़कर हमारे देश के जवानों की माफी मांगे।
India and Indians respect the army and the armed forces. And when our chief of the army says something, we respect that. It's unfortunate that someone, for posting something on the social media, decides to mock the army. Is it correct? Do they even understand the valor that was displayed at Galwan by the soldiers who gave up their life fighting for the motherland? It's unfortunate and condemnable to come out with this kind of a post.
And remember, she has insulted the army. She has insulted our martyrs, she has insulted the family of martyrs, and most importantly, she has gone on to hurt sentiments of those who lay down their lives for the country. This brings us to the very set of basic questions of what was Richa Chadha intending to do, and does this reflect her mindset? Should Bollywood biggies now call out to the actor, and should they condemn what she did? She deleted the tweet, but does Richa Chadha even know what happened in Galwan? Does the tweet reflect her mindset? Is it that she should not have put out the tweet in the very first place if she did not understand Galwan in depth? Those are the very basic questions that are emerging at this point, as Richa Chadha still stands in the center of that big controversy. And remember, the very fact that she's deleted the tweet, but will film personalities break their silence on Richa Chadha's insult to the army? Why is it that Bollywood bigwigs are not standing up today? Why do they continue to be silent on these issues and be selective about where they want to hold placards and where they want to call out, where they feel it is an issue? Why aren't they standing with the army? Should those who know nothing about Galwan avoid making these comments? Should Richa Chadha not in the first place even have put out this tweet? 3 words that she wrote mocking the Indian army, insulting our martyrs, insulting all those families. And remember, some in the industry who have spoken. Let's listen into what Ashok Pandit had to say.
एक देशवासी होने के नाते मुझे लगता है कि हमारी ड्यूटी है कि कोई भी हमारे जो सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस हैं, हमारे जवान हैं, हमारे पुलिस हैं, उनके खिलाफ कोई गंदा स्टेटमेंट कोई भी इशू करे या गलत स्टेटमेंट इशू करे, सिटीजन्स का फर्ज बनता है कि उसके अगेंस्ट सारी लॉफुल एजेंसीज को कंप्लेंट करें ताकि इनके अगेंस्ट एक्शन लिया जाए। एज अ सिटीज़न भारतीय होने के नाते किसी को हक नहीं बनता है कि हमारे सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस को मॉक करें, उनका मजाक उड़ाएं, उनके बारे में अपशब्द कहें। ऋचा चड्ढा ने जिस तरीके से गलवन वैली में हमारे सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस ने जिस तरीके से जान दी थी, उसका जो मजाक उड़ाया, भद्दा मजाक उड़ाया, उसने काफ़ी डिस्टर्ब किया हम लोगों को। मुझे काफ़ी तकलीफ़ हुई है और मेरे तरह देश के काफ़ी लोगों के जिस तरीके से सोशल मीडिया पे रिएक्शन आया है, ये चीज़ें अलाउ नहीं होनी चाहिए। तो इसलिए मैं पुलिस स्टेशन आया और मैं लॉ इन्फोर्सिंग एजेंसी है पुलिस स्टेशन, मेरा लोकल पुलिस स्टेशन है। मैंने एक लेटर दिया है कि इसके अगेंस्ट एक लॉफुली एक्शन लेना चाहिए, इसके अगेंस्ट FIR फाइल होनी चाहिए ताकि।
And joining us on the broadcast are Brigadier Hemant Mahajan, who is a defense expert, and also Major Gaurav Arya, consulting editor. They're with us on the broadcast. Major Gaurav Arya, if I can come to you first. The fact is that she deleted the tweet, or she was forced to delete that tweet because she faced a lot of backlash. But does this reflect her mindset? Is she disrespectful towards the army? And once she realized that she had to take a lot of it, then she deleted that tweet.
I think, a lot of people are saying that Richa Chadha did not know what she was saying or what she was talking about. I think she knew very well what she was talking about. It was intentional. I don't think you would have seen any successful film star making, these sort of controversial statements or anti-national statements. Only these people, failed in their careers. Indian army is like a low-hanging fruit. You abuse the Indian army, you abuse the soldier, and suddenly within a group of certain people, you become very popular, you become very famous. And that is it. What did General Dwivedi say? After all, he said that there is a 1994 Parliament resolution, and if the government gives the orders, we will. What do they want the army commander to say? That we are not prepared? If the government says we will not do it, is that the expectation from the army commander? The Indian army is ready 24/7. That is what the Indian army exists for. If tomorrow the parliament were to task the army, or the government were to task the army, walk into POK, they will walk into POK at the time and place of their choosing, of course. So Richa Chadha knew exactly what she was talking about, and now she's playing the victim card by saying, I didn't know, and I have a relative, and I have some uncle or my grandfather who was shot in the leg, and something like that, and it's in my blood. She says, army is in my blood. No, ma'am, it's not in your blood. You knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted publicity because you're not in any movie, you're not on any web series worth the name. Nobody is looking at you nowadays. You have no career, and you decided to get rich off the Indian Army's name. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Lieutenant General Kulkarni also with us on the broadcast. Before that, Brigadier Hemant Mahajan, if I can come to you, sir, because many say that she was well aware of what she was saying. She basically does not respect the army, and then she had to face that backlash, so she deleted it. But should she not have commented in the very first place if they don't understand Galwan in depth? Is it only for publicity that they come forth to make such loose statements?
What you say is very, very right. She did not have adequate knowledge about Galwan, and possibly she thought that in the Galwan Valley, when the clash took place, Indian Army possibly suffered. What she doesn't know is Indian Army gave such a bloody nose to the Chinese that first time after the 1979 war which they fought with Vietnam, 70 Chinese soldiers have died here. And this action took place at the sub-zero temperature of -20, -25 degrees centigrade, height of about 14,000, 15,000 feet. The number of our soldiers were much lesser than the Chinese soldiers who were present there. The soldiers were not to use their weapons because of various treaties that were signed over a period of time. Despite being outnumbered, despite not having gone there to fight a battle with the Chinese, these people did a wonderful job of thrashing the Chinese, and they got thrashed so badly that the military commander of the Chinese there was sacked, and the Chinese helicopters for days together ferried the bodies, the injured, to their hospitals back there. And thereafter, there has been so much of resentment on the Chinese social media, Weibo, etc., that young Chinese soldiers now do not want to get posted to Galwan or anywhere near the border. So frankly speaking, it was actually a historic occasion. Then we lost Colonel Babu, commanding officer of 16 Bihar and 19 brave soldiers. But they gave such a thrashing to the Chinese that Chinese learned their lesson. Thereafter, Galwan kind of an incident has not happened. So this actually, I would rate this, what happened in Galwan at the same level as the Battle of Rezangla. Rezangla is one of the most famous battles fought in Ladakh by the Indian soldiers against the Chinese, and that is taught as a military history lesson, let's say in the schools of instructions, etc. So this battle goes in the same level where the soldiers fought extremely bravely and thrashed the Chinese, sorted them out, and for this the government rightly honored commanding officer Colonel Babu with the Mahavir Chakra, the second highest award of the armed forces. And I think if I remember it correctly, 5 officers, including 1 or 2 young officers, received tenamental gallantry, etc. So obviously, it was a very, very brave act, and the Chinese learned the lesson, and thereafter Galwan kind of incident has not happened. So possibly Richard does not know of it. Unfortunately, this is not known adequately to the people.
Yes.
And as Gaurav was saying before me, I think the Gaurav Arya was there, that for the sake of publicity, they say something. And unfortunately, the social media has given a power to almost anybody and everybody to say something on a subject of which he has very little knowledge. So, and especially the celebrities whose Twitter handles are followed, etc., should not be irresponsible, because they are not only insulting the martyrs, insulting the soldiers, insulting the army, but they are even insulting the nation also, because we as a nation have fared very, very well against the Chinese. And this is exactly what everybody has to understand. Possibly she was trying to mock at General Dwivedi, the DOC in Chief of Northern Command, possibly meaning that, well, you did so badly in Galwan, so therefore, how are you talking about taking over POK, etc.? She simply does not understand the Indian Army, the bravery of Indian Army, and how capable Indian Army is to tackle the challenges either of Pakistan or China.
Absolutely, it is. Brigadier Mahajan, I want to come to you at this point. Do you feel angry when majority of Bollywood does not stand up on a day like this to condemn such a statement? They make films on the Indian Army, they make patriotic films, they come out in full force to promote their films when they are featuring in it. But what about the rest of the year? What about the time when they actually need to speak up? What about the time when they actually need to call out their colleagues on such statements? And the very fact that they earn a certain popularity or have a certain popularity, put it out in public that this is not acceptable.
yes, I would agree with your sentiments because that would be the sentiments of every Indian. If let's say, an immature actress has not understood what Galwan was all about, there are many in Bollywood who would understand it, and they should have quickly gone on record to say that the statement that she gave was not really correct. It is quite away from the facts, and this kind of say mocking at the Indian Army or mocking at the Indian Army soldiers is just not accepted, because all said and done, Bollywood has a tremendous influence on the public mind. There were days when Bollywood films were, really looked at by the Indians for patriotic spirit. Remember, in 1962 war, films made by that famous actor Manoj Kumar, who was later called as Bharat Kumar. He made such patriotic films that it really, everybody became patriotic. Everybody wanted to fight China. Everybody wanted to contribute towards war efforts towards China. And Bollywood has a good history of, showing the Indian Army in correct perspective and igniting the patriotic spirit, which is definitely required by a country when you face difficult challenges, especially against China and Pakistan. So Bollywood as an industry must do its job and stand by the soldiers and tell people, these girls like Richa, what you said was wrong. And Bollywood as an institution does not support it. Bollywood is all for India, Indian Army, and India as a nation.
And if I can come to you on this, it is simple. They should refrain from commenting on matters like this if they don't have adequate knowledge, and they should only speak when they know enough.
Yes, what you say is very, very right. Unfortunately, what happens is, as I said earlier, Twitter or any social media has given you a power to become an editor or a power to become a TV anchor. So you want to beat the clock, you want to beat everybody else, and you want to be the first one to comment on something that has happened. And in the end, you making a mockery of yourself, mockery of your,
and joining us
knowledge
on
about
broadcast,
the subject,
our Brigadier Hemant
really
Mahajan, who is a defense expert, and also Major Gaurav Arya, consulting editor. They're with us on the broadcast. Major Gaurav Arya, if I can come to you first. The fact is that she deleted the tweet, or she was forced to delete that tweet because she faced a lot of backlash. But does this reflect her mindset? Is she disrespectful towards the army? And once she realized that she had to take a lot of it, then she deleted that.
I have a lot of fans following who keep on following every word that they say, and
Richa Chandra did not know what she was saying, what she was talking about. I think she knew very well what she was talking about. It was intentional. I don't think you would have seen any successful film star making these sort of controversial statements or anti-national statements. Only these people, failed in their
Absolutely.
careers.
Major Gaurav Arya, I want to come back to you. Not too sure if Lieutenant General Kulkarni can hear me. But Major Gaurav Arya, you said this was on purpose. There was no mistake, there was no error, and she knew what she was writing. It is her basic mindset, but given the backlash, she just had to take it back.
There is a 1994 Parliament resolution, and if the government gives the orders, we will. What do they want the army commander to say? That we are not prepared?
I don't buy this. This is nonsense.
The expectation from the army commander?
Because the tweet that she quoted was a fake tweet.
That is what the Indian Army exists for.
General Dwivedi did not say what they were saying that he said.
Or the government were to task
and
the
I
army,
posted this. I posted that ANI clip also on Twitter. And General Dwivedi said there is a 1994 Parliament resolution.
So Richa Chadda knew exactly what she was talking about.
The army will do the
job
that the government tasked
by saying I didn't know.
That's it.
And I have a relative.
And what knowledge does Richa Chadda have of anything, including film,
and something like that?
I mean, a failed actress.
She says.
A failed actress who has not seen success. She has not been able to get name, fame and money by acting in films or by acting in television. When I was first told that somebody called Richa Chadda has made this comment, I didn't know who Richa Chadda was, so I went on Google and I tried to figure out who Richa Chadda was. Then I came to know that, okay, she's a film actress because I'd never heard of her. But the fact of the matter is that,
with us on the broadcast before that,
in short, if I may say
I can come to you, sir. Because many say that she was well aware of what she was saying.
She is perpetrating a lie. Now, I'd like to go to General Kulkarni.
And then she had to face that backlash, so she deleted it. But should she not have commented in the very first place if they don't understand Galwan in depth?
So my question to you is,
publicity that they come forth to make such loose statements.
Richard Chadha has made this comment about the army and about the Galwan. You have done a lot of operations in Ladakh, and including Siachen, which you're very famous for, so where you got the Shaurya Chakra. So my question to you is this:
what she doesn't know,
why would somebody twist the Northern Army commander's words out of context? Because in this day and age, there is an overflow of information. Sir, it's not that there is no information. There is an overflow of information. How can somebody of her prominence, which I came to know later through Google, go so drastically wrong? What is the agenda, sir?
Height of about 14,000, 15,000.
Gaurav, I agree with your sentiments and the sentiments expressed by Brigadier Mahajan. Definitely, it doesn't seem unintentional, which she says. It definitely appears intentional, because even from the apology that she's issued later to say that her grandfather and her maternal uncle were all associates of the army and have done commendable job, we have great regards for them. But having said so, and the blood of the army runs into her, I think this kind of a statement being made by her is absolutely deplorable. Something which must be condemned one and all without saying whoever she may be. I have never seen her movies, I don't know, because I don't watch movies, so I don't know much about her. But whatever it is, she does not have the right to say what she has said, because she doesn't know what Galwan is. And if she knows what Galwan is, and if she's made this statement, if she knows Galwan is, it is absolutely condemnable. You see the kind of reactions that everyone within the country would have expressed, both the panelists, the way you have all gone about hammering her. It's absolutely, because she deserves only that. This is not the way to speak. And once you know, if you are even partially connected with the army, why would you make a statement? It's not a domain. First and foremost, it's not her domain. This is the domain of a military matters, military which are professional. If the army commander of Northern Command is saying something, he knows what he's saying is. He's not going to be mocked at. He knows every word he's saying. He knows that he's ready for it, and what else he has to be ready.
1665 अहोम राज्य में कौन बनेगा बौरपुकन? ये महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न राजा चक्रध्वज सिंघा ने अपने मंत्रियों और प्रधानमंत्री अतनबुरा गोहेन को पूछा। काफी विचार विमर्श के बाद सभी की नजर एक व्यक्ति पर लसित। आज से लसित होगा हमारा।
And as you were all sort of debating that a lot of people from the film industry also should have come forward to say, well, it is wrong. I understand that one amongst them has gone to the police station to file an FIR against her statement. I think rightly so, because this kind of thing is not done. Either you have knowledge, you come and let's have a discussion with, let her only discuss it with you, Gaurav. I think it'll be adequate that how much deep in water she is. She doesn't know anything about it. And I don't expect her to know so much about it. But then to make a statement, to tweet, especially in like what Brigadier Mahajan was going to say, is a social media. Everybody is, aware of what's going on. And then you make a statement like that. And if you're saying it is unintentional, I go with you, Gaurav. It is not unintentional. It is intentional, because the subsequent statement of an apology that has come from her to say that, well, I'm related to the army and I have the kind of feelings and everything, I'm emotive about it. A person like that to make a statement like this, I think it's shameful, disgraceful, highly condemnable and deplorable. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to thank you all, you gentlemen, for joining us this afternoon. And indeed, there is consensus on the very point of view that all of us share here.
In their careers.
On that note, we slip into
like
a very
fruit,
short commercial break.
And
Richard Chadha, who is facing a lot of backlash for that tweet. Meanwhile, the other big stories we're tracking for you this afternoon: women's right to pray blocked by Jama Masjid. A massive uproar over this move.
The government gives the orders. What do they want the army commander to
and
say?
Shraddha murder probe widens further as killer Aftab's polygraph test
is that the expectation from the army commander? The Indian army is ready 24/7. That is what the Indian army exists for. If tomorrow the parliament were to task the army, or the government were to task the army, walk into POK, they will walk into POK.
हमने इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में कहा नो मनी नो टेरर वाली बात आपने कही, तो इस पर जितने हमारे दर्शक है और राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर दर्शक है वो जानना चाहते हैं कि इस पर और क्या किया जा सकता है।
आंतरिक सुरक्षा और बाह्य सुरक्षा का सवाल है। किसी भी खतरे के लिए हमारी जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति बरकरार रहेगी और दृढ़ता के साथ आगे बढ़ेगी और भारत सरकार की सारी एजेंसियां बड़ी मुस्तैदी के साथ भारत की आंतरिक सुरक्षा को मजबूत करने के लिए पैनी नजर रखकर सजग
आप वीर सावरकर को लेकर कुछ भी कह सकते थे। जो लोग हिंदुत्व में विश्वास रखते हैं वो पहले से ज्यादा असर्टिव हो गए हैं।
हमारी पार्टी के विचार, हम सब के विचार, देश का इतिहास, इस सबको साइड पर रखकर उनकी दादी के भी स्टेटमेंट पढ़ लेते तो उनको मालूम पड़ता। वीर सावरकर के जीवन को आप पूरी बारीकी से देखेंगे तो हिंदू संस्कृति, भारतीय संस्कृति के लिए उनका पक्ष और एक मजबूत विचार एक डायमेंशन
The Battle of Rezanla. Rezanla is one of the most famous battles fought in Ladakh against the Chinese.
हटलोडिया सीट के रैली में आपने एक कमेंट की, द्वारका में इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शंस हुए हैं, उसको डेमोलिश करने के लिए मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी को कांग्रेचुलेट करता हूं। इसकी बैकग्राउंड में कई लोगों ने कहा कि एक समुदाय को टारगेट किया जा रहा है।
द्वारका देश भर के करोड़ों लोगों की श्रद्धा का केंद्र है। बिल्कुल देश में किसी भी जगह पे, विशेषकर दरियाई सीमा के द्वीप पर अगर इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट होते हैं और इलीगल एंक्रोचमेंट रिलीजियस बेसिस पर होते हैं तो और बड़ा खतरा है। मैं अभी भी कहता हूं कि मैं गुजरात सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री और गुजरात सरकार के गृह मंत्री अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूं कि बड़ी दृढ़ता के साथ ये सफाई उन्होंने की है।
And as Gaurav was saying before me, I was there, that for the sake of publicity, there's something.
सुरक्षा के मुद्दे पर एक सवाल मेरा ये है कि जो आपने आइडियोलॉजी की बात कही और आप गृह मंत्री है देश के,
टेस्ट इज गोइंग ऑन, टीम सर्वर तक
कब तक चलेगा
ये डिपेंड करेगा कि क्या कंडीशन है, कितनी लेंथ है।
तो क्या दोबारा भी बुलाया जाएगा तीसरा राउंड?
हो सकता है, सेशन साइंटिफिक सेशन है, इट मे बी कैरी फॉरवर्ड। ये अभी नहीं कहा जा सकता क्योंकि ये साइंटिफिक टीम्स जो वर्क कर रही होती है दैट कैन डिसाइड कि उन्हें फर्दर
सेशन हो चुका है, पोस्ट सेशन होना है, क्या होना है?
जी जी,
इसको टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज में आप लोग क्या कहते हैं?
सेशन सर जा सकता क्योंकि ये साइंटिफिक टीम्स जो वर्क कर रही होती है दैट कैन डिसाइड कि उन्हें फर्दर
सेशन हो चुका है, पोस्ट सेशन होना है, क्या होना है?
जी जी,
इसको टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज में आप लोग क्या कहते हैं?
सेशंस आर गोइंग ऑन,
सेशन चल रहा है,
पॉलीग्राफ सेशन।
मैम इसके बाद एक चीज और मैम कि इसके बाद क्या प्रोसीजर है? नार्को का मेडिकल होना है, उसके बाद नार्को क्योंकि अम्बेडकर हॉस्पिटल की तरफ से कहा गया है कि सिर्फ सोमवार को ही होता है, तो मैम थोड़ा उसके बारे में बताएं।
जी, उसके लिए कुछ टेस्ट की जरूरत होती है कि मेडिकली फिटनेस है या नहीं है, तो प्री मेडिकल टेस्ट, और ये टीम जो एक कंप्लीट टीम है वो डिसीजन लेगी कि नार्को कब किया जाए।
गुजरात से एक्सपर्ट आए हुए हैं
इस विषय में कोई जानकारी मैं आपको नहीं दे सकती कि कौन एक्सपर्ट है नहीं है, बट टीम जो कलेक्टिव है दैट आर।
मैम कितने लोगों अम्बेडकर को कब अप्रोच, कितने लोगों की टीम है, कितने लोगों की टीम है, हाँ ये बता दीजिए।
अभी आप इस विषय पर रहने दें, इट इज अ नंबर, इट इज अ बिग टीम।
कितने लोगों की?
अच्छा, अगर आवश्यकता हुई तो ये कंटिन्यू रहेगा।
एक चीज और बता दीजिए
लास्ट हो गई
मैम। हाँ मैम, अम्बेडकर हॉस्पिटल को क्या एफएसएल की तरफ से अप्रोच किया गया? क्योंकि पार्टी या तो एफएसएल है,
ये जानकारी तो उनके पास शेयर की ही जाएगी ना, क्योंकि वो इस टीम का हिस्सा होंगे, नार्को की टीम का, तो ये जानकारी उनके साथ से
भी चल सकता है। कर रहा हूँ
मैं इस विषय में कोई जानकारी आपके साथ साझा नहीं कर सकती।
सकता है?
जी चल सकता है।
हेलो,
Very first briefing from the Forensic Science Laboratory that, remember, is undertaking the polygraph test on Aftab. And as you in fact just heard that briefing, they make it very clear that the test has started. They also do indicate right now that there are multiple teams that have been constituted because this is a scientific session. There are very specific questions that have been given by the investigative officers to the doctors who are undertaking the polygraphic test right now on Aftab, and this is still going to be taking some time. More breaking updates. In fact, this image also right now coming on your screens. This is a team of the Delhi police along with the local Vasai police who've come to the Bhayandar Creek area right now. These are images that you're looking at first here in Republic. Now, what we can tell you is that the agencies, as in the investigative officer here of the Delhi police, have been told that Aftab threw his phone here, and this is exactly why they've reached here along with the Vasai police, and they right now want to look for Shraddha's phone. A phone that will again hold the key to the entire case, will be an important piece of investigation and important proof. So the Delhi police there along with the local Vasai police right now at the Bhayandar Creek area trying to look for Shraddha's phone, and this is what Aftab in his custody has told the police, that this is the place where possibly he has thrown Shraddha's phone. We'll try to get you Alicia, who has more details on that story also for us in just a moment. But like I said, the story looking at a multi-city investigation right from Delhi, where you're looking at Aftab right now facing a polygraph test. On the other side, in Maharashtra, you have a team of the Delhi police along with the local police there. Right now, you see them on top of that ferry and they're looking for Shraddha's phone. Shraddha's phone is going to be a key to the entire investigation, apart from the other forensic evidence that the police right now is trying to get in their possession to be able to put out a watertight case against Aftab.
कितने लोगों की टीम है, हाँ ये बता दीजिए।
अभी आप इस विषय पर रहने दें। इट इज अ बिग टीम। अच्छा, अगर आवश्यकता हुई तो ये कंटिन्यू रहेगा।
एक चीज और बता दीजिए।
लास्ट हो गई
मैम। हाँ मैम, अंबेडकर हॉस्पिटल को क्या एफएसएल की तरफ से अप्रोच किया गया, क्योंकि पार्टी या तो एफएसएल है?
ये जानकारी तो उनके पास शेयर की ही जाएगी ना, क्योंकि वो इस टीम का हिस्सा होंगे, नार्को की टीम का, तो ये जानकारी उनके साथ
मैम कल भी चल सकता है। कर रहा हूँ
मैं इस विषय में कोई जानकारी आपके साथ साझा नहीं कर सकता।
चल सकता है?
जी चल सकता है।
So you once again heard that reaction that's coming in from Delhi. That was the Forensic Science Laboratory official making it clear that the polygraph test on Aftab is underway and it might take some time, is what we heard from that official. But on the other side, you're looking at these images right now that are on your screens coming in from the Bhayandar Creek area. And why has the team of the Delhi police along with the local Vasai police reached this area, Alisha? You're given to understand that they are looking for Shraddha's phone. Now, it's been a really long time. What was the last location, Alisha, of this particular phone? Is that something that we have more details about? And secondly, what is it that Aftab has said so far, during his custodial interrogation? The reason why you're looking at the Delhi police along with the Vasai police at the Bhayandar Creek right now?
Well, that we'll be watching on screen at this point of time, it's a visuals of Bhayandar Creek, because it's very important when we know that Delhi police, who is in Vasai since a week now, and they've been trying to gather all those evidence that has come across, specifically the statement that has also been recorded. There are more than 15 statements related to Shraddha and Aftab has been recorded by Delhi police and Vasai. Moreover, they got to know there was a phone of Shraddha which was thrown by Aftab in the same Bhayandar Creek, after which Delhi police along with the local Vasai police has went to the same creek, and there are also the divers who have been accompanied in the same creek, and they have been the search operation for Shraddha's phone is underway. So it's very important evidence that is going to become across if they found the phone, because we'll see how challenging the situation it will be also for the Delhi police and the local police. But we see in the visuals itself that how the search operation that has been underway in Bhayandar Creek, that is in the Palghar district, where Delhi police along with local Vasai police and divers who have been accompanied to find the Shraddha phone, because during the course of investigation it has also come to light that Aftab threw Shraddha phone into the same creek, after which the police has got the lead about it. They managed for all the divers and the police officials and the information that has also been given, after which they reached to the same creek and the search operation is underway.
You know, Alisha, I think it's important to put out certain basic details. Even as we look at these images, is the police now believing that after you had Aftab who murders Shraddha, then he goes back to Mumbai, you know, close to Bhayandar Creek, and this is where he destroyed Shraddha's phone? How many phones did Shraddha have on her? And what was the last location that has been spotted so far of her phone?
The course of investigation, and we'll also wait for an official statement that is going to become by the Delhi police who is present in Vasai. They have been trying to gather each and every evidence that is related to the murder case, because since the time Delhi police is in Vasai, they have been summoning all the friends of Shraddha and Aftab, and even we know Aftab family who is in Vasai, and their statement has also been recorded, because it's very important to know that Aftab family, right after the murder that has happened, and there was some sort of information the family of Aftab has got, and they in a very sudden way they have just left the same apartment and they shifted to some other place. But the visuals that we have been looking at, it's a very important evidence and the lead that Delhi police has, after which Delhi police along with the local Vasai police has reached to the same Bhayandar Creek, and they have been trying to get the phone of Shraddha, because it is the sources has informed that after threw her phone, that is Shraddha phone, to the same Bhayandar Creek, and we also see that there is also the divers who has been accompanying Delhi police and Vasai police.
You know, but Alisha, I also have to ask you that question, because you've seen that tendency in Aftab. He has been trying to mislead the investigators. Now, how do we know that the investigators right now are not on a wild goose chase right now? Because, you know, a lot of things don't add up. The last time I think we checked with the cops, we were told that the last location of Shraddha's phone was close to Delhi, and this is near their flat. Does this mean that you had Aftab, you know, alone who traveled to Mumbai later to destroy her phone, or, you know, were there more people in this entire task? What do we know? And a lot of loose ends, Alisha, in the entire case still.
Well, Dipti, during this course of investigation, so this has also come to a light that Aftab was impersonating Shraddha, and he was using whether her WhatsApp chat or whether it is an Instagram chat. There were many of the friends and the family members who were trying to get in touch with Shraddha through various social media. But it was Aftab who was impersonating and clearly mentioning that she is going to call from a new number, or she is going to get in touch with. So this evidence and this has which has come to have light is something very important, because if Aftab had threw Shraddha's phone to the Bhayandar Creek, so how many phones was actually Shraddha was carrying, and what evidence that phones has? Because even from the friends, we know the character of Aftab and the relation that Shraddha was going through. Also the letter that has also been given to the police, that also raised a question over the police. And of course Maharashtra government now, which is led by Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis, has clearly mentioned that police are under the scanner over the letter, why they have not investigated. But now more important, whether they found the phone, and if it's a phone of a Shraddha where the Aftab is through, and this is something a lead that they have got it from the Delhi police, who are interrogating continuously Aftab, because earlier they have a 10 days of custody, and now more 4 days custody, where police has sought of Aftab Poonawalla, and he is continuously at a one side where we can see there is an FSL that has been ongoing, where the polygraph test has been ongoing, and moreover the other part where Delhi police along with the Vasai local police and the divers who have been already searching for a phone of Shraddha. So we'll see what are the more evidence that will come across before the Delhi police.
Absolutely. And Alisha, we must tell our viewers that Aftab actually used Shraddha's phone, you know, a phone that was registered in Shraddha's name, to buy that 300-litre refrigerator where he chops Shraddha and stores her pieces. That is also what he did. So I do not know what's the kind of evidence that the police still has. What will the police get from Bhayandar Creek right now? And is that the real place where he has destroyed Shraddha's phone? But Republic is tracking that story, every development very closely, Alisha. For the moment, thank you. We're heading into a break right now. When we come back, women's right to pray is blocked by the Jama Masjid. There is a huge uproar over the entire move. Also, sensational details emerge now as the Mangaluru blast probe is getting bigger. Was cryptocurrency also used to fund the blasts?
केजरीवाल जी ने इस बार हिंदू कार्ड प्ले करने की कोशिश की।
कोई किसी भी कार्ड को प्ले करे, भारत की जनता और विशेषकर गुजरात की जनता इतनी भूली भाली नहीं है कि एक दो टोचकों से या एक दो स्टेटमेंट से किसी और बह जाए। अरे भारतीय जनसंघ से लेकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी तक हमने कहा था कि हम 370 धारा को जब भी हमें मौका मिलेगा हटाएंगे। एक देश में दो निशान, दो प्रधान, दो विधान नहीं चल सकते और हमने हटाकर दिखाया।
यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड की बात आपने जो उठाई, 3 राज्यों में क्यों, राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर क्यों नहीं?
हमने कहा था कि हम इस देश में कॉमन सिविल कोड की पैरवी करेंगे और अगर हम पावर में आते हैं तो इसको लाएंगे। 1950 में कहा था और आज कॉमन सिविल कोड के लिए भारत के 3 राज्यों ने इनिशिएटिव लिया है। एक चर्चा बहस छिड़ी है और कुछ ही समय में 3 राज्यों में कॉमन सिविल कोड आपको दिखाई पड़ेगा।
CCTV footage that we have now accessed the jailed Minister Satyendra Jain in these pictures, given food of his choice. In the application, he had said that he's not been given food.
The national capital Delhi was once again rocked by a brutal murder. Keshav, who is just 25 years of age, was a drug addict, has murdered 4 of his family members.
According to the information that has been provided by police PRO, that it was a mass shooting that happened in a Virginia Walmart, and according to the information that it's multiple people have been reported dead.
इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में कहा नो मनी नो टेरर वाली बात आपने कही, तो इस पर जितने हमारे दर्शक है और राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर दर्शक है वो जानना चाहते हैं कि इस पर और क्या।
Welcome back. You're with us here on Republic, and now we are putting our focus on an extremely regressive and a misogynist diktat. Not the very first time. But Jama Masjid, in fact, if you go there and if you happen to be a single woman or even a group of women, this is what you will see and face. We'll just zoom in fact, on that entire notice that you see on your screens, but it clearly reads that if you're alone or if you happen to be even in a group, or if you're a woman, you are not allowed inside the Jama Masjid. A clear, bizarre diktat. A lot of people have raised questions over this entire move, saying this is regressive. And the Jama Masjid, in fact, has also been defending this entire ban, saying that this has been done keeping in mind their own religious practices. We are trying to get you our colleague live right now from outside the Jama Masjid. And let's see what's the mood there. What is the kind of reaction that we are getting? Nivedana, I see her there on our screens. Nivedana, the last that we spoke to you, you were actually speaking to someone who made no sense. Sorry to say this, but he made no sense. If he believes that TikTok videos is the reason why women should not be allowed inside, the Jama Masjid, but then you can't just say that it's women or girls only making those videos. I mean, I don't know what's the kind of defense they're even wanting to put out.
Absolutely, Deeptina. That's exactly the question that we did ask him. That this particular notice that we're talking about, if we can zoom into that as well over here, the Jama Masjid mein ladki ya ladkiyon ka akele dakhla mana hai. So obviously the bigger question over here, which we did ask him, was the fact that why is it just one gender that's been pointed out? If you're talking about that objection of recording, let's say social media, social videos rather, TikTok videos right here inside the religious place. But he said that this was apparently something that the committee had noticed, and they brought it to the notice of the imam, after which they did take this particular decision. He did agree that one thing that he pointed out was the fact that yes, they should have put out a better notice, including both genders. But like you pointed out, his defense, his stance of the fact that it was because of these TikTok videos being recorded inside is why, this notice was put out. Because at the end of the day, social media is used by both the genders. So the bigger question is, why is a single gender being pointed out, Deepti?
Absolutely. And Piyush, I think, has been able to get us the first response that's coming in from the PR of the Jama Masjid itself, Nivedna. Let's listen into what he says and then I come back.
आप पहले चारों तरफ देखिए, क्या यहाँ पे लेडीज नहीं दिखाई दे रही हैं आपको?
मेरे को दिखाई दे रही है, लेकिन सर have they come alone or have they come with their male companions? That's the thing which I'm asking you.
देखिए, यहाँ पे जो लोग इबादत करने आ रहे हैं, चाहे लेडीज हो या कोई भी हो, उसके लिए कोई रोक नहीं है.
तो ये जो मतलब आपका जो डिसीजन था that they would not be now coming alone without a family member, and especially that of a male companion, is this withdrawn?
अगर इबादत करने के लिए आ रहे हैं तो कोई रुकावट नहीं है, किसी के लिए कोई रोक नहीं है. लेकिन अगर अकेली लड़की आती है और कहती है मैंने किसी को टाइम दिया है, मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड वेट कर रहा है, इस केस में उनको परमिशन नहीं दी जाएगी अंदर आने की.
I want to just understand one thing, sir, and respectfully I'm asking you, sir. Respectfully I'm asking you, sir. एक मिनट. Respectfully मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ जरा. नहीं, respectfully मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ जरा कि why only females have to face the brunt? Why not males, sir? Just asking you.
ये इबादत गाह है, यहाँ पे जो चाहे इबादत करने आ सकता है. उसके अलावा अगर कोई कहता है कि हमने किसी को टाइम दिया है तो वो चीज़ मुमकिन नहीं है.
ठीक है, तो आपको लगता है कि those females who have loose characters are not allowed inside the mosque, है ना?
आप पहले चारों तरफ देखिए, क्या यहाँ पे लेडीज नहीं दिखाई दे रही हैं आपको?
मेरे को दिखाई दे रही है, लेकिन सर have they come alone or have they come with their male companions? That's the thing which I'm asking you.
देखिए, यहाँ पे जो लोग इबादत करने आ रहे हैं, चाहे लेडीज हो या कोई भी हो, उसके लिए कोई रोक नहीं है.
तो ये जो मतलब आपका जो डिसीजन था that they would not be now coming alone without a family member, and especially that of a male companion, is this withdrawn?
अगर इबादत करने के लिए आ रहे हैं तो कोई रुकावट नहीं है, किसी के लिए कोई रोक नहीं है. लेकिन अगर अकेली लड़की आती है और कहती है मैंने किसी को टाइम दिया है, मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड वेट कर रहा है, इस केस में उनको परमिशन नहीं दी जाएगी अंदर आने की.
I want to just understand one thing, sir, and respectfully I'm asking you, sir. Respectfully I'm asking you, sir. एक मिनट. Respectfully मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ जरा. नहीं, respectfully मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ जरा कि why only females have to face the brunt? Why not males, sir? Just asking you.
ये इबादत गाह है, यहाँ पे जो चाहे इबादत करने आ सकता है. उसके अलावा अगर कोई कहता है कि हमने किसी को टाइम दिया है तो वो चीज़ मुमकिन नहीं है.
ठीक है, तो आपको लगता है कि those females who have loose characters are not allowed inside the mosque, है ना?
So that is the PR of the Jama Masjid. Nivedana, I couldn't understand what he said. I again saw no logic. And, I think we must be forgiven that outrage, because we have to be outraged with, what they believe that they can get away with. Now he's saying कि लड़कियां time देती हैं लड़कों को. They come to the Jama Masjid. तो लड़के भी तो आते हैं. How are men allowed and women not allowed? I mean, and who are these people to actually tell anyone what you need to do and not?
Absolutely, Deepti. Now, that is the exact point that we're raising. If it is about the fact that, who you're going to be allowing inside, why is it only one gender that has been notified in this particular notice? Now, if you look behind me, of course, it's a place where it's a tourist attraction at the end of the day. It's not people from just, across the city who come to look at the architecture. But on the other hand, it's also people from across the world. So what kind of a message also are we sending out when we put, such a notice outside, which is obviously regressive in nature? And also the fact that in this particular notice, what has been put out over here is the fact that it is single women and girls in groups. Now, let's say, for example, I'm not from here and I've decided to come and visit this place. Then why am I being stopped on the basis of my gender? Even if they do have certain kind of objections with the fact that the usage of mobile phones in terms of platforms like TikTok, this could have been put out in a better method, like they have put out other notices saying that playing music over here is prohibited, and other such notices that are put out. So why is it that it's only the women who are not being allowed inside? Deepti.
I think those are important questions, and this is orthodoxy that is being allowed to decide women's faith, something that we are at Republic strongly believe against. No right to pray for women. How is that possible, Nivedana? We'll be tracking that story, and we must tell our viewers that if you also have a viewpoint on that story, speak up on republicworld.com. You can send us your messages, your thoughts, your feedback, and all through this evening today, we'll be putting your voice out here on Republic as we quickly head into a break right now, Nivedana, for the moment. Thank you. So women's right to pray is blocked by the Jama Masjid. When we come back, we continue with our non-stop rolling coverage. There is a huge uproar on this move.
दिनों में चुनाव प्रक्रिया शुरू हो जाएगी। पिक्चर क्या लग रहा है आपको इस वक्त?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी बहुत अच्छी पोजीशन में है। 1990 के बाद गुजरात में भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक भी चुनाव नहीं हारी है।
2002 में 127 सीटें मिली थी।
हम इससे
आप कह रहे हैं 2002 के नंबर को आप क्रॉस करेंगे इस बार?
जरूर, इससे ज्यादा सीटें।
मीडिया सर्कल्स में बातचीत चल रही है आम आदमी पार्टी को लेकर। क्या आम आदमी पार्टी एक फैक्टर है इस बार?
मीडिया में जरूर है। गुजरात में जब मैं 50% से ज्यादा मत प्राप्त कर रहा हूँ, तब वोट कितना और कहाँ बढ़ता है इसके कोई मायने नहीं रहते। भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस बार 50% से ज्यादा वोट प्राप्त करने जा रही है।
कांग्रेस का प्रभाव कम हो रहा है, कांग्रेस की इंपैक्ट कम हो रही है, और वो जो वैक्यूम है वो कौन उसको फिल करेंगे?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी भी फील कर सकती है। हर बार जनता ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं ढूंढती है।
आप कह रहे हैं कि आपकी फाइट कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ। कांग्रेस को प्रिंसिपल ऑपोजिशन क्यों कह रहे हैं गुजरात?
क्योंकि वो है। मैं स्पेकुलेशन के आधार पर तो नहीं कर सकता। जमीनी हकीकत में वो है।
केजरीवाल जी ने इस बार हिंदू कार्ड प्ले करने की कोशिश की।
कोई किसी भी कार्ड को प्ले करे, भारत की जनता और विशेषकर गुजरात की जनता इतनी भोली भाली नहीं है कि एक दो टोचकों से या एक दो स्टेटमेंट से किसी और बह जाए। अरे भारतीय जनसंघ से लेकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी तक हमने कहा था कि हम 370 धारा को जब भी हमें मौका मिलेगा हटाएंगे। एक देश में दो निशान।
मुगल को तुलना में अधिक समय तक शासन किया था। उदाहरण का तौर पर पांड्या और पल्लवों दोनों राजवंशों ने 600 वर्ष से भी अधिक समय तक शासन किया था। उसी तरह ब्रह्मपुत्र घाटी में अहोमों ने लगभग 600 वर्ष तक शासन किया था। दक्षिण भारत के मध्यकालीन सोलाओं ने 431 वर्ष तक शासन किया था। ये केवल कुछ उदाहरण ही है। और इससे विपरीत अगर हम मुगलों की शासन को देखें तो मुगल हमारा देश में 330 वर्ष तक ही शासन किया था। ये दुर्भाग्य है कि भारतीय राजाओं के गौरवशाली शासन को हमारा इतिहास के पुस्तक में उपक्षित किया जा रहा है। मुगलों पर लासित बरफुकन के विजय को समझने के लिए हमें असम में इस्लामी आक्रमण के इतिहास को जानना आवश्यक है। असम के इतिहास में असमिया सेना ने इस्लामी ताकतों से अपनी भूमि संप्रभुता की रक्षा के लिए कोई युद्ध लड़े। लगभग 1205 से में बर्बर और इस्लामी विचारधारा के शासक मोहम्मद बिन बख्तियार खिलजी ने भारत के कई हिस्सों को तबाह कर दिया था। बख्तियार खिलजी ने कई मंदिरों को तोड़ा और भारतीय सभ्यता को अपूरणीय क्षति पहुंचाए। बख्तियार खिलजी केवल भारत में ही नहीं, दक्षिण पूर्व एशियाई क्षेत्र जैसे तिब्बत, चीन, म्यांमार, लाओस, कंबोडिया और उससे भी आगे इस्लामी शासन स्थापित करना चाहते थे। बंगाल पर विजय प्राप्त करने का बाद बख्तियार कामरूप होके तिब्बत को अपने अधीन करने के लिए निकल पड़े, लेकिन खिलजी की इस अभियान को असम के राजा पीठू ने रोक दिया और खिलजी को करारी हार दिए। महाराज पीठू ने सफलता से 2 बार खिलजी की आक्रमण पर विजय प्राप्त किया। महाराज पीठू के शासन के दौरान 1227 में कामरूप पर दूसरा आक्रमण हुआ। यही आक्रमण बंगाल के मुस्लिम सेनापति मोहम्मद गियासुद्दीन निवास खान द्वारा किया गया था। इस बार भी महाराजा पीठू ने अपनी कुशलता से मुस्लिम सेना को पराजित किया। राजा पीठू ने बख्तियार और गियासुद्दीन को हराकर न केवल पूर्वोत्तर भारत बल्कि पूरे दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया को मुस्लिम आक्रमणकारियों से बचाया। इन क्षेत्रों के इतिहास में इतिहास आज अलग होता यदि महाराज पीठू ब्रह्मपुत्र के तट पर उनका विरोध करने में सफल नहीं होते। 1205 से 1682 तक इस्लामी ताकतों ने असम पर कुल 22 बार हमला किया। इन संघर्षों में मुस्लिम सेना केवल 9 बार ही असमिया सेना पर विजय प्राप्त कर पाए। यह जीत भी कुछ ही पलों के लिए थी और उन्हें जल्द ही इसको मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया गया। अधिकतर उन्हें शर्मनाक हार का सामना कर पड़ा। असम के सभी विजय गाथाओं में सबसे उल्लेखनीय था 1671 सरायघाट युद्ध। यही युद्ध वीर लासित बरफुकन का नेतृत्व में लड़ा गया। जब मुगलों ने असम के कुछ हिस्सों पर कब्जा कर लिया था, तब राजा चक्रधर सिंह ने लासित बरफुकन को सेनापति नियुक्त किया था। प्रधान सेनापति का रूप में लासित बरफुकन को मुगलों को असम से बाहर खदेड़ने का जिम्मेदारी दिया गया था। उन्होंने अपने कुशल संचालन से सेना को पुनः सक्रिय किया और मुगलों पर विजय हासिल की। 1627 आहूम सेना ने लासित बरफुकन के नेतृत्व में गुवाहाटी को मुगलों से वापस जीत लिया। 1669 औरंगजेब ने राजपूत राजा राम सिंह को आहूम द्वारा जीते गए क्षेत्र को फिर से हासिल करने के लिए भेजा था। 5 अगस्त 1669 के आसपास आहूम और मुगलों के बीच आलावई की लड़ाई हुई थी। इस लड़ाई में लगभग 10,000 आहूम सैनिक शहीद हुए थे। 1671 सरायघाट का युद्ध मुगलों द्वारा असम में अपने साम्राज्य विस्तार करने का एक बड़ा प्रयास था। आहूम सेना ने युद्ध के क्षेत्र को अच्छी तरह उपयोग करके तथा चतुर कूटनीति, गरिला रणनीति, मनोवैज्ञानिक टेक्निक, सैन्य के बुद्धिमत्ता और मुगल सेना के कमजोर नौ सैनिक बलों का फायदा उठाकर मुगलों को हराया। उस युद्ध में लासित बरफुकन ने मौजूदा संसाधनों का सही और रचनात्मक इस्तेमाल करके विपरीत परिस्थिति को भी अवसर में बदलकर अपनी क्षमता का प्रदर्शन किया। संसाधनों की कमी, जनशक्ति की कमी तथा एक प्रशिक्षित स्थायी सेना के अभाव के बावजूद भी लासित बरफुकन ने राम सिंह के नेतृत्व वाले मुगल सेना को हराया। उन्होंने अपने देश के स्वतंत्रता रक्षा करने के लिए करो या मरो संकल्प के साथ धैर्य, दूरदर्शी और दृढ़ता से इस परिस्थिति का सामना किया। इतिहास में ये उल्लेख मिलता है कि जब सरायघाट में मुगलों का खिलाफ युद्ध हुआ तब लासित बरफुकन बीमार थे। लासित बरफुकन ने यह महसूस किया कि उनकी अनुपस्थिति से सेना का मनोबल टूट जाएगा, इसलिए ये युद्ध के मैदान में उतरे। इससे आहूम सैनिकों का उत्साह मिला और उन्होंने अपनी पूरी ताकत से मुगल को खिलाफ युद्ध किया। लासित बरफुकन के अदम्य साहस और सही रणनीति के कारण सरायघाट युद्ध में असमिया सेना को बड़ी जीत मिली। राजा राम सिंह ने असम में अपने युद्ध के बारे में उन्होंने कहा कि एक अकेला व्यक्ति सभी सेनाओं का नेतृत्व करते हैं। यहाँ तक कि मैं राम सिंह युद्ध में मौजूद होने का बाद भी किसी तरह की कमी और अवसर नहीं ढूंढ पाया। सरायघाट युद्ध की परिणाम आसाम के साथ दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया के भविष्य को भी निर्धारित किया। ब्रह्मपुत्र घाटी ने प्राचीन काल से ही दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया को भारत की मुख्य भूमिका साथ जोड़ने में प्रमुख भूमिका निभाई है। ब्रह्मपुत्र की पूर्वी क्षेत्र में म्यांमार और चीन तक कोई प्राकृतिक मार्ग है। ये मार्ग पाटकाई और इरावती नदी को पार करके म्यांमार पहुंचती है और वहां चीन की यूनान प्रदेश तक जाती है। पहली शताब्दी में सनातन संस्कृति का ज्ञान और विचार ब्रह्मपुत्र घाटी के माध्यम से भारत से दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया में फैल गया। मुगलों ने असम पर आक्रमण की योजना इसलिए बनाए कि इस क्षेत्र के माध्यम से दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया में प्रवेश कर उन्होंने अपना एक्सपांशन कर सकता है, लेकिन लासीत बरफुकन ने उनका इस प्रयासों को विफल कर दिया और एक नया इतिहास रचा। उस समय अगर आहोम सैनिकों ने मुगलों को गुवाहाटी में हराया नहीं होता तो आज म्यांमार, असम समेत पूरे दक्षिण पूर्व एशिया का सांस्कृतिक नक्शा कुछ अलग होता। लासीत बरफुकन का नाम असम की सीमाओं के आगे नहीं गया है। प्रसार की कमी का कारण ही लासीत बरफुकन की ख्याति और वैभव लोगों तक नहीं पहुंचा। हालांकि इस सैन्य प्रतिभा की पहचानते हुए 1999 में लासीत नेशनल डिफेंस एकेडमी में बेस्ट आर्मी कैडेट को लासीत बरफुकन स्वर्ण पदक देने का शुरुआत की गई। इस महान युद्ध नायक की 400 जयंती के उपलक्ष्य में असम सरकार ने कोई कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया है। लासीत बरफुकन के जीवन और समय को प्रदर्शित करने के लिए नई दिल्ली में कोई भव्य कार्यक्रमों का आयोजन किया गया है। इसी कार्यक्रम के तहत 18 से 25 नवंबर तक रक्तदान शिविर, वृक्षरोपण, सांस्कृतिक और अन्य कई कार्यक्रम का पूरा असम में आयोजन किया गया है। इस वीर योद्धा की श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करने के लिए कुछ अन्य कदम भी उठाया गया है। असम सरकार ने लासीत बरफुकन असम हीरो हु हॉल्टेड द मुगल नामक एक पुस्तक का प्रकाशन किया है। यह पुस्तक प्रसिद्ध इतिहासकारों और लेखकों को द्वारा लिखित उनके जीवन की विभिन्न पहलुओं पर निबंधों का एक संग्रह है। लासीत बरफुकन के जीवन पर एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री भी तैयार की गई है, जो डॉक्यूमेंट्री अब से थोड़ी ही समय बाद माननीय गृह मंत्री जी उन्मोचन करेगा। लासीत बरफुकन पर लोगों को अपनी भावनाओं को व्यक्त करने का अवसर देते हुए निबंध लिखने का कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया गया था। हमने एक पोर्टल का शुरुआत किया था। हमने लोगों को आह्वान किया था कि आप लासीत का ऊपर इस पोर्टल में लिखें। मैं ये गौरव महसूस करता हूं कि अब तक 38 लाख लोगों ने पोर्टल में लासीत बरफुकन का ऊपर लिखा। सबसे बड़ी बात था कि लासीत बरफुकन ने हमारा असम को दोबारा फिर एकत्रित किया। ये पोर्टल में बराक घाटी में हमारा बंगाली बंधु लोगों ने खूब लासीत बरफुकन का लिखा। बोरो समाज से लासीत बरफुकन का ऊपर लिखा। असम का हर जनजाति ने लासीत बरफुकन का ऊपर लिखा। असम में बसे हुए हमारे सारे हिंदी भाषी लोगों ने लासीत बरफुकन का ऊपर लिखा। एक प्रकार एक लासीत बरफुकन का जन्म जयंती में हमारा असम का बीच में एक बहुत बड़ा समन्वय साधन हुआ। एक महान असमिया जाति का दोबारा बल मिला। असम सरकार ने जोरहाट जिले के होलोंगापार में आहोम सेनापति लासीत बरफुकन कर मैदान पर एक भव्य स्मारक के निर्माण के लिए परियोजना लागू कर रही है। यह परिसर 50 बीघा भूमि पर बनाया जाएगा, जिसमें सभागार, अतिथिशाला, संग्रहालय और अनुसंधान केंद्र आदि होंगे। उसे मंच पर लासीत बरफुकन की 150 फीट ऊंची कांस्य की प्रतिमा का भी स्थापित किया जाएगा। असम सरकार ने 1669 अलावई युद्ध की स्मृति को भी संरक्षित करने के लिए अलावई युद्ध स्मारक स्थापन करने का भी परियोजना को भी हाथ में लिया है। राज्य सरकार राष्ट्रीय पुलिस अकादमी हैदराबाद में लासित बरफुकन के सम्मान में एक स्मारक भवन बनाने का भी निर्माण किया है। आज मैं ये भी आप लोगों का सामने हमारा जो आसाम का देरगांव में पुलिस अकादमी है, ये भी आज से मैं लासित बरफुकन का नाम में समर्पित करता हूं। আজি সমগ্ৰ অসমবাসীৰ বাবে এক গৌৰৱৰ দিন। নতুন দিল্লীত পোন প্ৰথমবাৰৰ বাবে লাচিত বৰফুকনৰ স্মৃতিত তেখেতৰ প্ৰতি শ্ৰদ্ধাঞ্জলি জনাবলৈ এনে এক বিশাল আয়োজন অনুষ্ঠিত কৰা হৈছে। ভাৰতৰ গৃহমন্ত্ৰী সন্মানীয় অমিত শ্বাহ ডাঙৰীয়াৰ প্ৰেৰণাদায়ক উপস্থিতিয়ে আজি আমাক সকলোকে আনন্দিত কৰিছে। অহাকালি ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী নৰেন্দ্ৰ মোদী ডাঙৰীয়াই এই লাচিত জন্ম জয়ন্তীৰ সমাপন সমাৱেশত ভাষণ দিব। লাচিত বৰফুকনৰ এই জয়ন্তীয়ে আমাৰ জাতিটোক আকৌ এবাৰ একত্ৰিত কৰিলে। আমাৰ জাতিটোৰ গৌৰৱশালী ইতিহাস ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ চুকে কোণে বিয়পি পৰিলে। মই আশা কৰোঁ যে গৌৰৱী অসমীয়া জাতিয়ে লাচিতে যেনেকে এদিন আমাৰ সভ্যতা সংস্কৃতি ৰক্ষা কৰিছিল, গৌৰৱী অসমীয়া জাতিয়ে আকৌ এবাৰ ভাৰত ভূমিত এটা উন্নত বিকশিত এটা সৰ্বশ্ৰেষ্ঠ জাতি, দেশৰ ভিতৰতে এখন সৰ্বশ্ৰেষ্ঠ ৰাজ্য হিচাপে নিজক উদ্ভাসিত কৰিবলৈ লাচিতৰ আদৰ্শৰে আকৌ এবাৰ নিজক সমৰ্পণ কৰিব, তাকে আহ্বান জনাই মই মোৰ বক্তব্যৰ সামৰণি মাৰিছো। ধন্যবাদ। জয় আই অসম, জয় আই ভাৰতী।
লাচিতৰ শৌৰ্য বীৰ্যক প্ৰতিষ্ঠাৰ বাবে আপোনাৰ আন্তৰিক প্ৰয়াস সফল হওক সেয়া আশা কৰিছো। ধন্যবাদ মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়া।
देवियों सज्जनों, अब मैं माननीय केंद्रीय गृह और सहकारिता मंत्री श्री अमित शाह जी से विनम्र अनुरोध करती हूं कि वे कृपया असम सरकार द्वारा प्रस्तुत लासित बोरफुकन के जीवन पर आधारित एक वृत्त चित्र का विमोचन करें।
जाग उठा एक राष्ट्र करने हर चुनौती का सामना, मातृभूमि की करने रक्षा उठा एक महायोद्धा, ब्रह्मपुत्र सी प्राचीन विरासत का वंशज, भारतवर्ष के अमर शूरवीरों में एक दास्तान, एक अमर विरासत की। असम पूर्वोत्तर का प्रवेश द्वार, प्राकृतिक सौंदर्य से भरपूर, जहां बसता है ब्रह्मपुत्र का सबसे भव्य रूप। रामायण और महाभारत की सचित्र पांडुलिपियां जो 17वीं शताब्दी के जोरहाट में पेड़ की छाल पर पाई गई, असम के प्राचीन प्राग ज्योतिषपुरा होने का सशक्त प्रमाण है।
It is difficult to depict physically this kingdom of Pragjyotisha. Pragjyotisha was the ancient land. People of different races lived there.
असम कभी महान कामरूप का गढ़ था, जिसकी ख्याति गिलगित तक फैली हुई थी। कामरूप के पतन के साथ शुरुआत हुई एक नए युग की। 1228 शूरवीर राजकुमार सुकफा ने ब्रह्मपुत्र की घाटियों में प्रवेश किया अहोम वंश की स्थापना के लिए।
Ahom is the root of the word Assam.
अहोम साम्राज्य निचले असम तक फैला हुआ था। आज का गुवाहाटी और ऊपरी असम इसका केंद्र था। स्वर्गदेव का वास गढ़गांव में था। जनवरी 1662 मीर जुमला ने 42,000 मुगल सैनिकों और 328 युद्धपोतों की नौसेना के साथ ब्रह्मपुत्र घाटी पर आक्रमण कर निचले असम को कब्जे में ले लिया।
This led to a 9-month-long tortuous standoff.
जनवरी 1663 अहोम राजा स्वर्गदेव जयध्वज सिंहा ने अपनी सुरक्षा के लिए नामरू पहाड़ियों का रुख किया। तब राज्य के मंत्रियों ने घिलाझारी घाट में एक समझौता किया। एक काला दिन जो सदा के लिए असम के स्मृति पटल पर अंकित हो गया, जिसने 400 साल पुराने राजवंश की जड़ें हिलाकर रख दी। एक अपमानजनक समझौता, अहोम खजाने को कंगाल बनाने के लिए थोपी गई शर्तें। लेकिन वो यहीं नहीं रुके। राजा की इकलौती संतान, उनकी बेटी को मुगल सम्राट के हरम में शामिल होना पड़ा। एक ऐसा अपमान जिसे स्वर्गदेव सह ना पाए। नवंबर 1663 नए स्वर्गदेव चक्रध्वज सिंहा ने गद्दी संभाली। लक्ष्य केवल एक, मातृभूमि की आजादी, अहोम गौरव की पुनः स्थापना। लेकिन ये काम इतना आसान नहीं था। कौन करेगा अहोम सेना का नेतृत्व?
The answer, it's a story that began about 40 years ago. A son is born to Mumai Tamuli Borborwa.
अर्थशास्त्र ने युवा लासित के विवेक को और निखारा। दंड नीति ने उन्हें एक परिपक्व रणनीतिज्ञ बनाया। एक सेनापति का उदय। अहोम भूमि का यह पुत्र इतना तेजस्वी था, जैसा कि आगे चलकर इतिहासकारों ने लिखा कि लोग उससे नजर नहीं मिला पाते थे।
But Lachit isn't a man born with a silver spoon. Lachit is a hard worker. He proves his mettle, rising through the ranks of the Ahom administration.
अपने गौरव, राष्ट्र और स्वर्गदेव के लिए मर मिटने को तैयार एक योद्धा। ये केवल लासित ही हो सकते थे। स्वर्गदेव का विश्वास और बॉरफुकन की हैंगडन थामे लासित ने कमान संभाल ली। फौजदार सैयद फिरोज खान के लगातार और अपमानजनक पत्र स्वर्गदेव के सब्र की परीक्षा ले रहे थे। अहोम ने कभी गुलामी स्वीकार नहीं की, फिर मैं विदेशियों के आगे कैसे घुटने टेक सकता हूं? जले पर नमक डालते हुए औरंगजेब ने दूतों के हाथ स्वर्गदेव को खिल्लत भिजवाई।
Aurangzeb often did these things strategically to humiliate, to keep people under his thumb.
20 अगस्त 1667 4 साल की लंबी तैयारियों का निर्णायक क्षण आ चुका है। अहोम सेना गढ़गांव से कोलियापुर के लिए प्रस्थान करती है। मातृभूमि को वापस पाने का दायित्व अब उनके कंधों पर है। ये घड़ी है करो या मरो।
Lasit asked his Sargodeo to provide expert astrologers for his historic journey down the Brahmaputra. In Ahom tradition, the astrological science is at the center of administration and warfare.
मुगलों का पहला गढ़ धराशायी होता है, फिर दरंग और काजोली। एक एक कर सभी गढ़ गिरने लगते हैं। लतासिल, रंगमहल और शाहबुरुज। अब सामने है सबसे बड़ी चुनौती। लासित इताखुली का रुख करते हैं, गुवाहाटी का प्रवेश द्वार।
Capturing this bastion is a huge task. The Ahom army has to take on the Mughals' greatest concentration of provisions, ammunition and soldiers here.
अहोम सेना के पास था एक गुप्त हथियार, चोर बच्चों का एक दल। भेस बदलकर रात के अंधेरे में काम करने वाले जासूस।
Chor Bachas are excellent undercover soldiers. Ahom military pioneered the use of spies in their warfare.
एक अंधेरी रात जब चांद छुप गया, अहोम सेना के चोर बच्चे गुपचुप इताखुली किले की दीवारों पर चढ़े और मुगलों की तोपों में पानी डाल दिया। उन्हें निरस्त्र कर दिया।
Mughals realized they had nothing to retaliate with. They were overrun in one sweep.
आधी रात 2 नवंबर 1667 इताखुली जीत लिया गया। मुगलों को खदेड़ दिया गया। फौजदार और कई अन्य बंदी बना लिए गए और कई मारे गए। विजय स्तंभ पर इस जीत के हस्ताक्षर आज भी ताजा हैं।
The information reaches Aurangzeb at Agra by December 1667. He is enraged by the news. He chooses Raja Ram Singh of Amber as the leader of the fight against the Ahom dynasty.
स्वर्गदेव ने परिस्थितियों के अनुकूल रणनीति बनाने का आदेश दिया। प्रधानमंत्री अतन बुढ़ागोहाइन को प्राचीर के निर्माण का जिम्मा सौंपा गया। प्राचीर ने पूरी घाटी को ढककर नए आक्रमण पर अंकुश लगा दिए। आज भी लासितगढ़ गुवाहाटी में इसके अवशेष मौजूद हैं।
The Ahoms mounted their guns after short intervals across their newly made ramparts, the hills and the valleys.
वहीं आगरा में राजा राम सिंह ने अपनी सेना को तैयार करना शुरू कर दिया। वो जय सिंह के पुत्र थे और एक सेनापति के रूप में कंधार से लेकर बंगाल तक प्रख्यात थे। मार्च 1671 मुगल सेना को अंधारुबाली में एक प्रवेश बिंदु मिला। राजा राम सिंह आगे बढ़ते हैं। बोरफुकन को तेज बुखार ने जकड़ लिया। वो सर्दी और दर्द से जूझ रहे हैं। ऐसे में उनके पास हमले की खबर पहुंचती है। ज्योतिषी अच्युतानंद दोलू उन्हें सलाह देते हैं, अभी समय उचित नहीं है।
The soldiers began panicking. Without their leader, they are unorganized. They are almost overrun.
लासित छटपटाने लगते हैं। उनके लोगों की जान दांव पर है। उनकी मातृभूमि विनाश के कगार पर खड़ी है। अच्युतानंद उन्हें रोकते हैं, अभी समय उचित नहीं।
Now Lachit begins arguing with the astrologer. He threatens him, in fact. Such an impossible thought. What a brave man. To argue with astrologers is an unbelievable thought in Ahom tradition.
अच्युतानंद घोषणा करते हैं, यही वो पहर है जब राम ने रावण पर आक्रमण किया था। जाइए। सरायघाट 1671। भले मुगल मुझे जिंदा पकड़ लें, पर मैं अपने लोगों पर आंच नहीं आने दूंगा। लासित की इस दहाड़ ने सेना में जोश भर दिया। गोरफोकन की सेना में शामिल होने की खबर जंगल में आग की तरह फैल गई। अपने गोरफोकन के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर दोनों किनारों पर सैन्य बेड़ों के साथ आने से नावों की एक दीवार से बन गई, लगातार तोपें दागते हुए। डर अब मुगल सेना को जकड़ने लगता है। अहोम सेना का साहस शिखर छू लेता है। लासित गोरफोकन आगे बढ़कर स्वर्गदेव, राष्ट्र और लोगों के प्रति अपने कर्तव्य को पूरा करते हैं। राजा राम सिंह को पीछे हटना पड़ता है। मुगलों की हार होती है और अहोम की जीत। मातृभूमि अब सुरक्षित है।
At this moment I could not express myself the feeling of the time, but then it must have been a great occasion for the Assamese people.
Yes, getting some breaking news coming in at this point of time. BJP Sambit Patra has said that some Tukre gang has raised question against Army and Congress's Sardar of Tukre gang. Now this is a reaction from the BJP against Richa Chadda over a Galwan remark, and right now viewers, we can tell you that BJP Sambit Patra has made that statement lambasting Richa Chadda over her Galwan remark. Couple of statements being made by Sambit Patra, and he has also said that Congress always raises question against army and surgical strike. Let's go ahead and play out that reaction by Sambit Patra.
आज एक विषय टीवी पर चल रहा है सुबह से ही, और वो विषय पीओके का है। मुझे आश्चर्य लगता है कि आप देखिए, कुछ विषय ऐसे हिंदुस्तान में होते हैं जिन विषयों पर कोई संशय नहीं होना चाहिए। आर्मी के साथ खड़ा होना, आर्मी को प्रोत्साहित करना, आर्मी पर विश्वास करना, उस पर गर्व करना, भारतवर्ष पर गर्व करना, अपने देश के साथ खड़ा होना, इसमें किसी प्रकार की कुंठा कैसे, इसमें किसी प्रकार की लज्जा कैसे? मगर आश्चर्य है, कुछ टुकड़े गैंग वाले ऐसे हैं जो बार बार हिंदुस्तान के खिलाफ बयानबाजी करते हैं और हिंदुस्तान की आर्मी को कोसने का काम करते हैं। इसमें नंबर 1 इनका कोई सरदार है तो वो कांग्रेस पार्टी है। यही वो कांग्रेस पार्टी है। आप याद करिए, जब नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किया था,
असम सरकार द्वारा आयोजित कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित असम के लोकप्रिय मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर हेमंत विश्व शर्मा जी, भारत सरकार के मंत्री श्री सर्बानंद सोनोवाल जी, स्पीकर असम विधानसभा श्री विश्वजीत दायमारी जी, सेवानिवृत्त मुख्य न्यायाधीश सर्वोच्च अदालत श्री रंजन गोगोई जी, रामेश्वर तेली जी, तपन गोगोई जी, पवन कुमार जी, और आज इस सभागार में उपस्थित सभी गणमान्य अतिथिगण, सांसद, विधायक, मंत्रीगण, इतिहास के इतिहासविद और इतिहास के विद्यार्थी, आप सभी को लसित बरफुकन की जयंती की बहुत बहुत बधाई और शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। मित्रों, आज हम इतिहास के ऐसे स्वर्णिम पृष्ठ को लेकर एकत्रित आए हैं। शायद वो व्यक्ति न होता, वो योद्धा न होता, वो शूरवीर न होता, तो आज पूरा पूर्वोत्तर भारत का हिस्सा न होता। उस वक्त उन्होंने की लिए हुए निर्णय, उन्होंने दिखाया हुआ साहस, उन्होंने किया हुआ पराक्रम न केवल पूर्वोत्तर, दक्षिण एशिया के पूरे हिस्सों को धर्मांध आक्रांताओं से, धर्मांध आक्रमणखोरों से बचाने का काम किया। तो हेमंत जी लसित बरफुकन के लिए आसाम के मुख्यमंत्री के नाते एक कार्यक्रम आयोजित किए हैं। मैं हेमंत जी को बताना चाहता हूं, लसित बरफुकन के उस पराक्रम का उपकार पूरे देश पर है, पूरी सभ्यता पर है, पूरी संस्कृति पर। और इसलिए मैं हेमंत जी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहता हूं, साधुवाद देना चाहता हूं कि पूर्वोत्तर की